following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
We say hello to you from the north side tonight. Another very hot night. Should be an offensive evening. The wind is blowing out. And we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. It's the third and final game of this series against the Florida Marlins. And the Cubs need to win tonight to avoid a sweep. Welcome to Cubs baseball here on WGN Sports. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. A lot going on before the game. The Cubs players held a meeting. Lou Piniella met with members of the front office for quite a while as they try to figure out how to get this team back on track. And Bob, as we look at the numbers in the month of May, they got off to a great start, but things have gone downhill quickly.
Yeah, they won the first 5 games of the month of May, and they were doing a lot of things right in the first 13 games of the month. You see the record. The batting average was good. Runs per game was good. ERA was good. But the last 13 ball games, they've reverted a little bit back to some of the bad habits, the fundamental mistakes, and the inability to come up with those big hits.
A couple of lineup changes. We'll get into that a little bit later, but let's talk about the pitching matchup. It'll be left-hander Ted Lilly coming off probably his worst outing as a Cub.
Yeah, subpar for Ted Lilly's standards that he had set earlier this season. Got banged around by the Dodgers a little bit, breaking a string of 3 consecutive wins, 3 in his decisions, 3 consecutive wins. He'll be hooked up against right-hander former Cub Sergio Mitre. You have to believe Sergio is really fired up for this ball game. He's having an outstanding season.
Yeah, he uses that good sinker, and hopefully the Cubs can elevate it tonight and hit some balls out of the ballpark. So we're set to go. The Cubs hosting the Florida Marlins. We'll have all the action coming up next.
Chicks. Dig.
It's awfully hot in here.
Becker.
I know you're attracted to me.
Ew!
He's smooth and sophisticated.
Listen to me. Follow my lead.
I had a sex change operation.
Holy crap.
Someone has been working out.
Becker. Watch him operate 5 nights a week. Late nights on Superstation WGN.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains. And TV has video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some tables.
Right.
Want to talk to someone who really knows hotels? Call the experts at Hotels.com. They've got the inside scoop on over 70,000 properties. They're available 24/7, and they'll always find you the best price guaranteed. Just log on or call 800-2HOTELS now. Hotels.com. You know hotels inside and out.
As hungry as I am?
Yeah.
So what are we in the mood for? I'll know it when I see it. Okay, well... Oh, I think I just did.
Try Olive Garden's new stuffed pasta with shrimp, ravioli, and tortelloni filled with 5 Italian cheeses and a creamy garlic seafood sauce. Or new stuffed pasta with sausage and a homemade basil marinara, starting at $9.95. 2 great new dishes, served with endless breadsticks and salad.
You just have to know where to look.
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Chicago Cubs baseball. Brought to you by Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play, play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit Southwest.com today.
Gorgeous night for baseball. Final game of the month of May for the Chicago Cubs. And tonight's Cubs broadcast on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station. is presented in high definition, sponsored by Comcast, and brought to you in 5.1 Dolby surround sound. Left-hander Ted Lilly getting ready to work. And this is the Florida Marlins lineup he will face. The Marlins have won 5 consecutive road contests. Reggie Abercrombie hit a home run in Game 1. He'll lead it off at center. Uggla Ramirez, Miguel Cabrera has had a big series, 5 for 9 so far. Josh Willingham in left. Jeremy Hermida with the go-ahead homer last night. Olivo, Boone, and Mitre 7 through 9.
And here's the Cubs Pepsi defense tonight. Alfonso Soriano in left, Jock Jones in center, Cliff Floyd over in right, Aramis Ramirez at third base. The Riot, Ryan Theriot, moves over to shortstop to start this ball game tonight. Mark DeRosa at second base, Derek Lee over at first. Henry Blanco doing the catching tonight for left-hander Ted Lilly. See his numbers on the season. We mentioned that subpar outing against the Dodgers last time out. That was a 9-8 loss. He went 4 1/3, gave up 6 hits and 5 earned runs in that ball game. The big surprise was the 4 base on balls against the Dodgers.
First pitch, strike. In her third on Abercrombie. 83 degrees as we start tonight, so it feels like summer. A wind out of the southwest at 12 miles per hour. So officially blowing out for the 5th time this year. The Cubs 2-2 when the wind blows out. Umpires tonight, Jim Reynolds will work the plate. The crew chief is at third base, Tim Welke. Breaking ball called, strike 3 on the curve. Abercrombie already having a conversation with a home plate umpire.
Yeah, not much argument there from Abercrombie. I mean, that ball drops right in on the outside corner. Henry Blanco slides out on the corner a little bit. Lilly hits the mitt. Have a seat. Well, that's a good pitch right there. That's been his go-to pitch, that backdoor breaking ball, either the big curve or the little sharper slider.
Now the second baseman, Dan Uggla, is swinging a miss on a fastball. We talked about the May numbers. The Cubs are 12-14. So that means they've gone 7-14 since starting the month 5-0. They went 10-14 in April. So it'll be their second consecutive losing month. Game 51 of the season, including tonight, 112 to go. And the Cubs start the night 5.5 back of Milwaukee. They're in third place. The Brewers lost again today. Atlanta beat them 9-3 in the Brewers bullpen. Gave it up late. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled straight back.
You know, Len, if my math is correct, and that's always questionable, but through the first 50 games, the Cubs offensively had hit double digits only 3 times. I think that might be one of the most surprising stats for me, given the expectations on this offense. A lot was talked about in spring training. They were going to thump, they were going to bang other teams into submission, and it just hasn't come to fruition consistently. Only 3 times have the Cubs offensively been able to hit double digits.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Well, certainly a lot of that has to do with the cold weather early in the season, the winds blowing straight in. The scores were down all around baseball, but as the weather has started to heat up, you would expect the bats to heat up right along with it.
Blanco scooting toward the inside corner, and Uggla smacks it high in the air. Alfonso Soriano is just going to watch it fly out. Up near the back row of the bleachers, Dan Uggla with his 10th home run of the year, and it's 1-0.
Well, the batting practice was any indication, both teams might score in double digits tonight. The ball was absolutely rocketing out of Wrigley Field. Wind howling out to left. Very warm evening. That's a knee-high fastball on the outer third of the plate. Uggla just gets the bat head out there. Hits it high in the air to left field. Soriano just stands there and watches it go.
5th earned run allowed in the first inning by Ted Lilly. This is his 11th start. Yeah, we're not in April anymore. There's nothing that's going to stop towering blasts from leaving the ballpark. I think about a ball Mark DeRosa hit in extra innings that he got all of, and it stayed in the park because the wind was blowing straight in. If he hits that ball tonight, he'll find Waveland. Dan Uggla got it up and out.
He may find Evanston if he hits that ball tonight.
The 0-2 to Hanley Ramirez, who last night snapped an 0 for 18 late in the ballgame with an RBI single in the 8th.
Even though he finds himself in a 1-0 hole early, Ted Lilly's stuff looks a lot sharper tonight already than he did against the Dodgers. Really struggled with that big curveball, which, as I said, is a pitch that he really needs to have working well to be effective.
31-year-old southpaw, 0-2 in his career in 3 starts versus Florida. Check swing bouncer and lollipop throw over to first base, 2 outs. And it'll bring up Miguel Cabrera, who is 5 for 9 in the series. Had 2 hits last night, comes in at .323. Yeah, that game in Milwaukee, the Brewers bullpen allowed 8 runs in the last 2 innings, as the Braves took 2 of 3, 9-3 the final. So Atlanta will spend its off day here tomorrow. The Cubs also off, and then a weekend series beginning on Friday. We'll have games 2 and 3 Saturday at noon Central Time, 1 o'clock on Sunday for the leadoff man right here on WGN. Cabrera high in the air. Soriano back to the warning track, and almost a carbon copy. Cabrera hit it very near where Dan Uggla did 2 batters ago, and it's 2-0. That's his 10th.
Well, this time it appeared to be a case of missed location. Henry Blanco sliding inside on Cabrera. He wants that pitch in on the hands. It's up and out over the plate, allowing the big, strong Miguel Cabrera to extend those big, strong arms. Another no-doubter.
Well, Ted coming in had only allowed 4 home runs over his first 64 2/3 innings. And a lot was discussed about him being a fly ball pitcher in the offseason, which he is. So this doesn't appear to be an easy night for Ted Lilly, because fly balls are going to have a very good chance to get out. And the one thing you have to do if you're Ted Lilly is you have to throw strikes, because if you're going to give up 2 or 3 home runs, you really don't want to give them up with anybody on base. I mean, you never want to give them up at all, but you can't hand out free passes on a night like this. But they have to be quality strikes, and therein lies the rub as far as being a major league pitcher.
Other than that, go get them. And once again, judging from batting practice today, you can make quality pitches on a night like this, and the ball still has a chance of getting out of the ballpark. I saw Alfonso Soriano hit ball after ball out onto Waveland Avenue, then got a pitch away from him, hit it off the end of the bat, and hit it in the bleachers in right field. Ball was just flying this afternoon.
Well, this is a night where this Cubs offense should score a bunch. Willingham walks in. That'll force Henry Blanco to head out to the mound. I mean, this is a lineup again that was constructed to bang. And we'll talk more about the lineup configuration in the bottom of the inning, but new cleanup hitter, at least for tonight, as Lou makes a couple of tweaks to the lineup. You mentioned Blanco in there for Barrett, and Cliff batting in between Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez. It's something Lou had been thinking about and had talked to Aramis about it. Hey, it's not as if he's struggling. This is not a demotion for Aramis Ramirez. 12 home runs, hitting .290. But just trying something different to see if it works.
And we had speculated about this particular configuration about a month ago. We were talking about as Lou was tinkering with the lineup on almost a daily basis, trying to figure out how it best fit together, and certainly separating Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez, your two best right-handed hitters, with Cliff Floyd or any left-handed hitter between those two guys, makes it extra tough on that opposing manager to play matchups late in the ball game.
It was Hermida's 3-run homer in the 5th off Jason Marquis. It ended up being the difference last night. And now 3-0. His last start, Lilly went over the 1,000 innings pitched mark. He came in tonight with 1,000 2/3 innings in his major league career. 3-1. You can see the perspiration. It is a very warm night. Pop foul and back out of play.
You know, then we saw Hermida take a pitch there on the 3-0 count, took a called strike. This is the kind of night I don't think you'll see a lot of take signs on 3-0. Both managers understand what the wind is doing here tonight, how the ball is carrying, and that 3-0 pitch a lot of times is just a lollipop, the pitcher trying to get back into the count. I think you'll see a lot of swinging away on 3-0 counts tonight.
Willingham goes on the 3-2 and lifted to right. Cliff Floyd will come over and make the catch. Hopefully Cliff will get a chance in the first. He hits 4th. Marlins with a couple of home runs. They lead it 2-0.
Make it easy for yourself. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly nonstop from Chicago Midway to Long Island MacArthur for just $39 one way with a 7-day advance purchase.
You are now free to move about the country.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Don't worry about those guys.
I am just so sick of this.
Dude, what do you expect? You went with Geico.com. What, to save some money?
It's my life, okay?
Just a little loyalty would be nice, that's all.
What? Having Geico makes me less of a caveman?
Tina's here. We're getting back together.
Hey, give us a minute.
Geico.com. So easy, a caveman can do it.
Now the Cubs lineup for tonight's game against Sergio Mitre, brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Ontario 1-2, Derek Lee hitting 3rd, but again the change. Cliff Floyd batting cleanup, Ramirez 5th. Mark DeRosa's at second base, Jock Jones at center, and Henry Blanco matching up tonight with Ted Lilly.
Let's take a quick look at the Marlins defensively. Josh Willingham, Reggie Abercrombie, and Jeremy Hermida across the outfield. Cabrera, Ramirez, Ugla, and Boone across the infield. Miguel Olivo behind the plate once again tonight for the former Cub right-hander. Sergio Mitre off to a great start this season. He's held the opposition to a .243 batting average. Power sinker, occasional curve, occasional slider, but he's going to live and die with that sinker ball.
Bunted foul. How about that by Alfonso Soriano? Well, we don't see that too often. They're trying to jumpstart this offense. And it is Alfonso Soriano. Bobblehead night. First 10,000 adults receiving an Alfonso Soriano bobblehead. And 10 fans winning an exclusive bobblehead doll created in their own likeness. Two strikes on the Cubs leadoff hitter. Got the early update on the All-Star game balloting, and He is third among National League outfielders. So if the voting ended today, he would make his 6th All-Star game. He strikes out. And it'll bring up Ryan Theriot.
A free swinger like Alfonso Soriano trying to bunt the first pitch of the ball game as he goes over the top of that hard sinker from Mitre. A lot of times those power hitters, it almost looks like a gimme base hit if you get a decent bunt down the third baseline, but it takes away one of your swings. And on a night like tonight, you'd almost prefer to see Alfonso let that bat fly.
Aaron Boone will step on first, and Ryan Theriot is out. 2 quick outs. Mitre from Los Angeles, California, 7th round pick of the Cubs in 2001 out of San Diego City College. He really has downplayed this matchup tonight. First time he has ever faced his original team. And he can say what he wants, but this is a big start for him. You were down there a long time. I never was. But when you face your former team, especially a team that trades you away, it means more, doesn't it?
Yeah, no matter how you try to spin it. Well, you know, the Cubs traded Sergio Mitre to the Marlins. Well, one way to spin that is the Marlins wanted Sergio Mitre. They saw a value in him and place on their roster where he could fit in. But usually the player looks at it as my original organization didn't want me. And that's not always the case. And it's used as motivation, however. No question about that.
Reniel Pinto, who is a left-hander in their bullpen. Ricky Nolasco, a right-hander who's on the disabled list. And Mitre acquired for Juan Pierre on December 7th, 2005. Three balls and a strike. Derek Lee. He hit a home run last night. Nolasco's on the shelf with right elbow inflammation. Crunched foul. And scattering down to the bullpen. Carlos Marmol probably will not see action tonight. He's pitched in the last 3 games. But I asked him if he would be available if needed. He said absolutely.
Of course.
That's what every reliever is going to tell you.
2 strong innings for Marmol last night. Struck out 4 Marlins. Gave up only 1 base hit. He did throw a lot of pitches last night, though.
Well, he enjoys every single day. And while it's easy to say he's like that in the big leagues, I bet Carlos is like that in the minor league. He's happy to be at the ballpark. 3-2 on the way to Lee, a swing and a miss, and Mitre no problem getting through the first 3 in the opening inning. 2-0.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Go! Life with diabetes? It's about going for it. That's why my new Contour has all the stuff I need to get it done right in just 5 seconds.
The new Contour is the most complete meter yet, with results in just 5 seconds. So getting more just got easier. That's easy accuracy, answered by Bayer.
The most realistic baseball sim ever. MLB 07 The Show, only on PlayStation. Rated E for everyone.
Got a lot of projects?
Yeah.
We've got what you need. Come on.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right. Start here.
American Idol Rewind. Saturdays at Superstation WGN.
Solo home runs by Dan Uggla, and 2 batters later Miguel Cabrera. So Florida with the early advantage. And the bottom of their order now, Miguel Olivo, the only guy in their lineup tonight with previous at-bats against Ted Lilly. 4 for 5 with 3 home runs. The wind and the 1-0 pitch. Hit in the air back of the second base position, and it's going to be Mark DeRosa to make the catch. You mentioned the meetings today, players only meeting, and Lou Piniella met with members of the front office for quite a while. They're just trying to figure things out, but he said, hey, everybody is on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page here. Everybody's on the same page, believe me. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants the same thing that everybody wants, and that's to straighten this thing up and win baseball games. No, everybody's on the same page here. Yeah, it's good to see, but you know, it has been a little frustrating.
Aaron Boone just got in on the head-first slide as Soriano's trying to throw him out. It ends up being a double for Boone. Close play at second base.
Well, no hesitation on the part of Aaron Boone whatsoever as he turns the bag at first, heads for second. Soriano with a nice backhanded play gets rid of that ball quickly. It looked like the throw was a little bit on the outfield side. That gave Boone an opportunity to slide to the infield side of the bag, and DeRosa could not get the tag back in time. Very close play. Well, that's where we talk about the game of inches. If that throw is right over the bag or even on the third base side of second, that's an easy out at second base on Aaron Boone. But because the throw was on the outfield side of the bag, it gave Boone a lane to slide to on the inside of second base, made it a tough tag for Mark DeRosa.
Sergio Mitre showed bunt that looked at a strike. This is not really a bunting situation with 1 out.
And one more quick look from our Southwest RoboCam. That throw was on the outfield side. You saw where DeRosa took the throw, has to reach back to the base, and that gave Boone just enough of a lane to get his hand on the bag before the tag.
That's a swing and a miss. 2 strikes. Two for 13, 189 in his career. 4 doubles, couple of RBIs. High bouncer sending Boone to third. DeRosa no problem. 2 down. Well, really 2 parts today, 2 meetings. Let's start with the players meeting. Derek Lee last night asked Lou about maybe having a meeting with just the players, and Lou said, I think that'd be a good idea. Your experience, what kinds of things are discussed in players only meetings that might not be discussed with a manager around?
I have to go back to my playing days, because as a manager, the players had a couple of players only meetings, and I didn't really find out what went on. I didn't really want to know what went on. Obviously that was something they felt that they needed to air some grievances or get on each other or whatever the case may be. And I just remember my playing days, guys trying to convince each other to relax. It seems like when things go poorly, you create tension amongst yourselves, maybe subconsciously almost. Everybody's trying to do too much. And the reality is you just need to relax, play the game properly, do the right thing, fundamental baseball, and everything will fall into place. So, ideally it was just one of those meetings for everybody to take a deep breath and relax, and let's go out there and do what we're capable of doing and no more than that.
And then the other meeting was in Lou Piniella's office. Several members of the Cubs front office, including President John McDonough and General Manager Jim Hendry. That one gets away from Henry Blanco, and they'll get a run. So Aaron Boone scores, and it's 3-0.
Boy, as simple as it seems, that ground ball by Mitre to second base to move Boone over to third sets up the opportunity for the Marlins to score a run on a wild pitch. From our RoboCam behind home plate, breaking ball down in the dirt near the feet of the batter, and Henry is normally very good at blocking those pitches in the dirt, especially when he's anticipating that breaking ball. That one, however, just got by.
Third wild pitch of the year for Lilly. Bounced foul. I did chat briefly with Jim Hendry just before the ball game, and he's preaching patience, which it's a long season, and Jim believes in this roster, believes in the players on the roster. He said, look, we haven't played well. Cubs have tied a low water mark, 6 games under 500. And Bob, I know you've been here too in these spots where sometimes the guys you have, they've got to play through it. They've got to find a way to get through this.
And I'm a big believer in rhythms and cycles of the game, and at some point the players fall into that everyday rhythm, and I really haven't had that feeling yet from the Cubs. Where you don't put so much emphasis on each individual at bat, on each pitch. You understand that it's all part of a big picture, and you just try to execute fundamentally as best you can on a daily basis.
So Jim Hendry, Randy Bush, Oneri Flita watching the ball game tonight. On the ground, backhanded by Derek Lee. Lilly hustling over, but no chance to beat Reggie Abercrombie. I don't know if Ted got off to a late start or not. We'll get a look, but I know Abercrombie runs extremely well.
Yeah, bad combination. Looked like Ted got just a little bit of a delayed start over there to first base. He's frozen momentarily, and then he starts his break to first base. And when you have a batter like Abercrombie with his speed, that slight opening is all he needs to beat that throw to first base.
So that extends the inning on the infield hit. And here's a pitch to Ugla, who went deep his first time. It's low, ball 1. Four hits for Florida, 2 home runs, and in this inning a double. They haven't picked off. Lilly steps off the rubber, running at Abercrombie. Now Derek Lee will toss, and Henry Blanco, the catcher, applies the tag at first base. We'll look at it when we return. The Marlins do get a run. It's 3-0.
From the night I went to the prom by myself to my 18th birthday party where all my ex-boyfriends showed up. It's all right here in the diary of me, Moesha Mitchell. Occupation, teenager.
Her name is Brandy. Her show is Moesha. Her message?
Follow your own star.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN. America's funniest home videos. Weeknights starting at 7 on Superstation WGN.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old-world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
He's a brilliant kid from the wrong side of the tracks.
You can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
An unlikely hero, and the man who showed him a better way to fight.
I'd do anything to have what you got.
Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting.
Friday at 7:30 on Superstation WGN.
3-0, and let's check out how the last half inning came to an end.
We talked about Abercrombie's speed. He got a little carried away over there. He broke for second base as Ted Lilly was standing in a set position on the mound. Lilly does the right thing, stepping off the rubber. ran at the runner. The rundown lasted a couple more throws longer than necessary, but the result is good. Henry Blanco covers first base and makes the tag.
1-3-4-2. So it's Cliff Floyd. Hitting .370 over his last 11. He'd like to hit for some more power. Backs up Aaron Boone. Got a really good hop at the end. Mitre over in plenty of time. Cliff with a .486 lifetime slugging average, but he came in tonight at .390. So 4 up, 4 down for Sergio Mitre, and I think the one game you and I would think about when it comes to Mitre in a Cubs uniform, June 8th, 2005 against Roy Halladay and the Toronto Blue Jays. 7 shutout innings. He got the win. He allowed 1 ball hit into the outfield in those 7 innings. The 6th inning single to center by Reed Johnson. He combined on a 3-hit shutout. Allowed 2 of the 3 hits. Also had the game-winning RBI. A double in the 3rd off Halladay. Then his next start actually may have been more memorable as Ramirez singles into center for the first hit tonight. So after Mitre had beaten one of the best starters in the American League against this Florida ball club, his first career complete game and shutout. 9 innings, 5 hits, no walks, 18 ground ball outs.
I do remember those 2 starts. Mitre had that sinker working extremely well. Not only that, but he was controlling it on both sides of the plate. Rarely threw a pitch down the middle. I mean, they didn't hit many balls hard against him in that 2-start stretch.
He also had 2 more hits in that win over the Marlins.
I remember we commented at the time he looked like Greg Maddux with more velocity. He was pounding that sinker on the outside corner, and just about the time the right-handed hitters would lean out there to try to get the sinker, he'd bust it in on their knuckles, breaking bats.
DeRosa last night 2 hits, including a double. But in the 2nd inning, he was thrown out at 3rd on a ground ball hit in front of him to short. And he admitted after the game, terrible mistake on my part. I didn't know why he did it. He strikes out, 2 down. I mean, he owned up to it immediately, and you could almost tell here once he took off, he just kind of had the body language like, uh-oh, I know I'm in trouble. And then in that same inning, Michael Barrett got picked off second base by Miguel Olivo as a cannon back of the plate.
And nothing more Lupinella could do than shake his head. I mean, it's not like those are 2 rookies making base running mistakes out there in that inning. That's a couple of veteran guys that should know better. And I think that gets back, Lynn, to what I was talking about earlier, trying to do too much. You know, every player has physical limitations. Some guys are faster than others. Some guys throw better than others. But everybody can think. Everybody can concentrate and focus and do the right thing. Doesn't matter how fast you are. You have to know what to do when that ball's put into play. And unfortunately, some bad decision making last night.
Well, Lou said nothing about Michael Barrett being benched or anything to that effect. But after the off day tomorrow, Carlos Zambrano will get the start on Friday. Henry Blanco has been matching up with Big Z, so it's possible Henry could get 2 consecutive starts here this week. Well, Michael chatting with Ted Lilly on the bench. That's low, 2-2.
And don't forget there was a stretch of the season last year when Henry Blanco was really good, not only behind the plate but at the plate. When Michael Barrett was serving his suspension after the A.J. Przinsky fight, Henry Blanco came off the bench, played every day, and did an outstanding job. And of course, we're just speculating about his start with Zambrano. We assume that Henry will get the start behind the plate in that ball game, and you know, for a backup player, the chance to play a couple of games in a row, that's big. Get an opportunity to get in there and get 4 at-bats in a ball game.
Ramirez goes on the 3-2 pitch, and it's low. Good job by Jock. How tough is it, Bob, to lay off those sinking fastballs that when they're halfway to the plate look like they're going to be at the knees or above and then end up below?
Well, certainly it helps a lot if you've seen a guy before or seen somebody who is similar to Sergio Mitre before. You know, you see the reaction, you see the rotation on the pitch, and you kind of set a limit for yourself. I'm not going to swing at anything below the belt. I'm not going to swing at anything below the middle of the thighs. Wherever that point is for you as a hitter, you just have to trust yourself, because if you trust your eyes, you'll end up swinging at a lot of those low sinkers and right over the top of them. It's almost fighting your own instincts. You see that pitch in the middle of the strike zone, middle of the thighs, and you tell yourself that's a good pitch to hit, but by the time you swing at it, it's low out of the strike zone.
Well, one thing Henry prides himself on his defense and catching base stealers. He's one of the best in the business and has been for a long time. He's still looking for his first caught stealing, and again in limited action, 0 for 4 on the year. He did apply the tag at first base on Abercrombie to win the top of the second. Among active big league catchers, only Ivan Rodriguez. Pudge with Detroit has been better. Henry at 41.2%. It's a very good caught stealing percentage, and Pudge at 43.8, and he's probably headed to the Hall of Fame at some point. Mitre has a sign from his catcher Olivo. First and second, and the 0-2 kicks away from Olivo, and the runners move up. So now a single could plate a couple.
It really chokes off this breaking ball, throws it over in the left-handed batter's box. You can see the bounce that it took. Talked about this before. Once those hitters get in there and start digging those toe holes in the back of the batter's box, if you get a pitch over in that area, you never know where it's going to go. This one shoots up and over. Miguel Olivo hits about 3/4 of the way up the backstop.
So Ramirez now at third, and Jones right behind him at second. A 1-2 to Blanco. Pulled foul near the dugout. So after a very cold start to the season, do the last couple of days make you think that it's going to be 93 the rest of the summer, or is it going to cool off again?
Well, I hope it does. I love the hot weather. I'd much rather have hot weather than cold weather, that's for sure.
Blanco strikes out. The Cubs lead 2 in scoring position. Florida 3, Cubs nothing.
He's making over your life.
It's almost a miracle.
And your relationships.
You need to get some dating done.
The Greg Barron Show.
Take a look.
Weekdays on Superstation WGN.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The Pilot from Honda.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good.
America's most reliable.
Well, we'll see about that.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
Three to nothing Marlins. There aren't any Marlins in Lake Michigan, are there? I don't think so.
I kind of doubt it. I think the marlin is a saltwater fish.
Where was it where the whale is stuck in the river? Is that Sacramento?
In Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah. On their way back to the ocean, we understand, so that's good news.
Bad compass for those whales.
Yep. You ever done any deep sea fishing in the ocean?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have. I've had 2 experiences out in the ocean, in the waves, and probably be my last 2 experiences. Okay. I mean, the first time we were 17 miles off the coast of California. Ooh. And when you get seasick 17 miles out to sea, it's not like you can pull over at the next corner and drop me off. I'll walk home. You're stuck on that boat for the remainder of the day.
What did you catch other than seasickness?
I caught a salmon and didn't even know it. The captain of the boat screaming, "Somebody's got a fish on! Somebody's got a fish on!" It was my pole, and I didn't even care.
I caught a barracuda once in Florida, although saying I caught it means I was in the vicinity as the guys on the boat actually reeled it in. When that thing was on the boat, I wanted to be nowhere near it.
Well, the fish felt the same way about you.
That's a strike. Ugla was at the plate when Abercrombie got caught in that pickle between first and second. And now a full count. Slow windup by the left-hander, swing and a miss, and a strikeout. Number 2 for Lilly. Watch the Cubs battle the Atlanta Braves this Saturday at 12:05. Be sure to arrive at the ballpark early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs travel mug, compliments of McDonald's. After the game tonight, the Cubs will play Atlanta 7 of the next 10. And the other 3 are against first place Milwaukee. On the road next week. That's a big stretch coming up. Braves are not playing all that well, even though they did win that series in Milwaukee. And looking ahead to the pitching matchups for the weekend, Carlos Zambrano for the Cubs on Friday against right-hander Kyle Davies. Lefties on Saturday. Again, we'll have that one for you here on WGN Sports. Chuck James and Rich Hill. And Sean Marshall will pitch for the Cubs on Sunday. Ramirez lines right to Cliff Floyd. John Smoltz is still listed. We should mention he had to leave his start early in the 4th inning yesterday with a finger injury, and his shoulder acted up a little bit. So coming up, the Cubs are going to see a lot of teams with winning records. Now, the Houston, quote, series is 1 game. That's a makeup game on June 11th here at home.
Well, no question, it's a tough stretch of the season. Nice that the Cubs could get a little momentum going into that series. For that stretch of series.
Well, the Mariners playing well. And 2nd in the American League West. You know, it's interesting. John Smoltz, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, dislocated his right pinky, but he carried on, kept pitching, aggravated that injury, felt something in his shoulder, and he says, you know, I'll pitch Sunday. I'll be fine. Floyd coming over, slides and made the catch. That ball was hit very hard by Miguel Cabrera, and Floyd with a grab out in right center on the slide as Ted Lilly goes 1-2-3 for the first time. Nicely done, Cliff.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood Aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
The most realistic baseball sim ever. MLB 07 The Show, only on PlayStation. Rated E for everyone.
I work to close the deal. And Monster works for me.
Monster has the most sales jobs on the web. Go to Monster today and find the job that works for you.
Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Oh, what a great shot. Weather's been fantastic this week. And the Cubs trying to heat up their bats. Ted Lilly hooks a ground ball to Dan Uggla. Alfonso Soriano will come up, and earlier today a couple of Silver Slugger awards were handed out. Alfonso Soriano and Carlos Zambrano.
Silver Slugger Award presented to the best offensive player at their positions.
The fourth for Soriano, 3 at second base, and last year in the outfield, and number 1 for Big Z. Let's see, Jason Marquis has won the Silver Slugger. Michael Barrett, Derek Lee. Interesting look. Easy play for Miguel Cabrera. Boone had to come off the bag, but he did apply the tag. The Marlins with the most errors in the National League with 47. Cabrera has 11 of them. And they were able to get the out on the tag play.
That's something you'll talk about in your advance meeting going into a series as well. If a team has struggled defensively, we saw Hanley Ramirez with a very lackadaisical play up the middle of the field last night on what appeared to be a double play ball. We've seen Cabrera at third base throw away a couple of routine plays, and that advance report will tell your hitters, hey, if you put the ball in play, run hard. These guys are having problems picking it up and throwing it, as Olivo throws one over the head of Sergio Mitre. Run 90 feet hard. You never know what's going to happen when you have a shaky defensive ball club out there.
Riot last night with his first career pinch hit home run. 2-run shot off Dontrell Willis. Cubs have 5 pinch homers. That ties their number from last year. Since 1974, the most the Cubs have hit in a season, 10 in 1998. So they lead the major leagues with 5 pinch hit home runs. 5 different players have done it. Michael Barrett, Ronnie Cedeno, Derek Lee, Matt Merton, and Terrio, the latest. That's a strikeout, and Sergio Mitre cruising along early has 5 Ks and hasn't allowed a run.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
Honey?
Well, hello.
Hello.
Look what I found.
They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve in the new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard treats at Dairy Queen with waffle pieces and chocolate chunks. Do one.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable. Well, we'll see about that.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? Carol serves the salad, the breadsticks in the middle, and the soups as different as we are.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just the Midas touch.
Welcome back tonight. The Cubs trailing the Marlins 3-0, and this is a night where if you're a pitcher, you want to keep the ball on the ground, and that's what Sergio Mitre's done, and you'd like to miss some bats. He has not allowed a fly ball. 4 ground ball outs, 5 strikeouts. Ted Lilly gave up 2 home runs in the first inning, and he faces Josh Willingham here to start the 4th. Willingham walked his first time up. Got the call, 2 strikes. Called strike 3, and Willingham is gone.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Your official summer baseball station is brought to you by Budweiser. Born in America, enjoyed around the world. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Nicely done, partner. Jeremy Hermida, the right fielder. I want to go back to the bobblehead mention. Alfonso Soriano with his bobblehead, and 10 fans winning an exclusive bobblehead doll created in their likeness. Now, is there a Bob Brenly bobblehead somewhere in the archives? Nice play by Lilly, snaps it up and gets the out.
Yeah, they made a couple back in 01 and 02. One looked a little more like me than the other did, but they're nice to have. You know, I remember very specifically going to Municipal Stadium in Cleveland as a child, and I had $2 to spend. And boy, when you're a kid, that's a tough decision. And at that time, there was a lot of stuff you could buy for $2. And I spent my money on a Chief Wahoo bobblehead doll that's somewhere in the garage at home. I'd love to find that thing.
Well, that's cool. So you said one kind of looked like you. Did you have to pose for some sort of artist's rendering?
No, I probably should have, though, because the other one looks nothing like me or any other human being. It's just kind of a generic, I don't know what to call it. I'll dig those up and bring them next year.
Yeah, I have to see that.
One's pretty good. The other, so-so.
Were they both mustachioed bobbleheads?
Absolutely.
It didn't end up looking like a chia pet or something, did it?
No. No real mustache hair, nothing like that.
Swung on and missed, so Ted Lilly has settled in. 1, 2, 3 the last 2 innings. Cubs trail 3-0.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Halt! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The pilot from Honda.
Becker sees a psycho shrink.
I don't have to sit here and listen to your insult.
And now she's making house calls.
Hi, Becca.
Met Becker.
You really are crazy, aren't you?
Tonight at 12:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Hey, music fans, the Bare Naked Ladies are coming to the Charter One Pavilion on Northerly Island June 18th, brought to you by Live Nation and part of the Bud Light Concert Series. Tickets are on sale now. Visit livenation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and great live music, always worth it. Solid single by Derek Lee. And the Cubs now with 2 hits. First time the leadoff man has been on.
You know, Len, we talk a lot about adjustments in the game of baseball, and when you're facing a sinker ball pitcher, you have to make an adjustment. Mitre, obviously on top of his game tonight, has great downward movement on that sinker. One of the things you can do is, we used to call it changing your sights. Instead of trying to see the middle of the baseball and hit the middle of the baseball, think about hitting the bottom part of the baseball, because as that ball is sinking, it'll sink right down into the barrel of your bat. Another small adjustment you can make is carry your hands just a little bit lower than you normally do, with the idea once again being that you want to stay underneath that sinker, try to hit the bottom part of the baseball. That time Derek Lee squared up a sinker and smacked it into left center field.
A couple of interesting numbers on Cliff Floyd. Batting with 2 strikes, he is 3rd in the National League, hitting .318. Andy Chavez and Willie Harris now with Atlanta. Chavez with the Mets. They've been a little bit better, but that's it. And with runners in scoring position, Cliff is 14 for 33 with 20 RBIs. That's a .424 average. And I think we talked about it in spring training. Cliff can hit. He can flat out hit. Has a good approach at the plate. He hits the ball as hard as probably anybody in the game today. But he's not a guy, based on his health and his age, that you're probably going to get 125 to 130 games out of at this point in his career. So you spot him, you get him in when you can, keep him healthy all year, keep his legs fresh. And I think in the end, Bob, he'll put up very solid numbers.
I mean, ideally, he would be part of a full-time platoon at a corner outfield position. Of course, we know the Cubs are overloaded in the outfield, struggling to find time for everybody to get in there and get enough at bats to stay sharp. And he's a professional hitter. You know, that's a label that's hung on some guys. In many instances, it's because they can't play defense. I don't think that's the case with Cliff. He just physically has some limitations at this stage of his career, but he can hit.
A guy he has shared a lot of time with, and Matt Merton's been in a pretty good stretch offensively lately. His last 8 games, 6 hits, 5 walks. 500 on base percentage. Base hit into right. So Floyd batting behind Lee. And the right side opening up with Lee getting on base. And they're in business. And here comes Aramis Ramirez.
Well, those are the kind of hits you see a lot of against a sinker ball pitcher. Cliff Floyd with a hard ground ball hits the top part of the baseball as it sinks into the hitting zone, but gets enough of it to squeeze it through that right side for a base hit.
The first real good opportunity for the Cubs. They did have 2 on in the second inning, but that came with 2 outs. This time no outs. And Ramirez, boy, absolutely smoked it foul over the home dugout. And you certainly always have to be paying attention, but I'll tell you what, where those fans are, probably the last thing they thought is that a screamer was going to come flying in there.
Yeah, maybe off the bat of a left-hander that swings late, but not a right-hander that gets around that quickly on an inside sinker. Looks like everybody's okay.
Nachos are in order. Money being exchanged. That's good to see. Low for ball 1, 1-1.
And it should be pointed out that we shouldn't have to point this out because we saw it firsthand last night. Miguel Olivo behind home plate loves to pick runners off base.
Now, the other thing to note, Mitre with 5 strikeouts. This is a night where you do want to make contact. Now, you don't want to hit into a ground ball double play in this spot, but with him on the mound, the Marlins have given up 9 unearned runs. He's allowed 19 on the year. Only 10 have been earned. The Cubs as a team have given up 8 unearned runs. So if you make some things happen, make this defense work, that would help. And as a sinker baller, he's going to give up contact.
Well, the defense on the left side for the Marlins has been especially troublesome. We've talked about it earlier in the game. Cabrera with 11 on the season. Hanley Ramirez with 10. And a lot of those are just errors. How can I politely put this? They're very lackadaisical the way they go about their business. Hanley Ramirez on his error last night just kind of gliding over to the middle of the field and just fanned on a ground ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Mitre coming back. And Aramis went around. The call made by the home plate umpire Jim Reynolds. I'll tell you, I'm not so sure about that. He got his hands out there, but it looked from here like he kept the barrel behind. But Reynolds made a very quick call, and that's a big out for Mitre. We'll see.
We'll get a good look at it from this angle. Pretty close right there.
Yep.
You know, and once again, the argument for the batter is always, why can't you ask for help? If Jim Reynolds, a home plate umpire, or any major league umpire behind the plate is tracking the flight of the baseball into the hitting zone, the batter's question is, how can you see where the bat is? Now, umpires will tell you that they can see the bat as it enters the hitting zone out of their peripheral vision as they're watching the baseball, but the umpires have done such a great job over the last 3 or 4 years of utilizing all 4 sets of eyes to make sure they get calls right. And that's an example, for me anyway, that you need to get some help from that first base umpire on that call.
And looking at the slow-mo replay, it was borderline. Certainly could have gone either way, and Reynolds made the call. But when you do get your hands out there like that, you leave yourself open to being rung up, and that's what happened.
You know, and that's a talent, too, the ability to check a swing and not have it called a strike. Mark Grace was one of the best I ever saw at that. He would take almost a full swing sometimes and pull the bat back at the last second, and the way he would walk into it, turn his back shoulder toward the barrel of the bat, he rarely had a check swing called on him.
DeRosa strikes out on a full swing, and now 2 outs in the inning.
As a matter of fact, my first ejection as a manager was arguing for Gracie on a check swing, but that's a whole nother story. DeRosa chases a bad pitch down low out of the strike zone. That gets back to what we were talking about earlier. You have to set a limit for yourself. I'm not going to chase anything below a certain area. And that time DeRosa chases a pitch that was down below the knees and ended up even lower.
Well, we may have time this weekend for that very story because Bobby Cox is one ejection away from tying the all-time record.
I'm pulling for him.
He had 2 in a row last weekend against the Phillies.
You know, I don't know if they document such things, Len, as the reason for the ejection. I know more recently they do, but I don't know how far back that goes. But I'd be willing to bet that probably 75 to 80% of his ejections have come in the first or second inning, arguing balls and strikes, trying to establish that strike zone for his pitchers early in the game.
Well, John McGraw is first on that list with 131. And he played from 1891 to 1906. And then managed for a long time through 1932. Mitre trying to get out of this inning with no damage. First and second, no outs. They're still where they started, and there are 2 gone.
I'll say one thing about the ejection record. That's one that can be broken if you put your mind to it.
And we don't know if the commissioner is traveling around to be on hand or not. Although he didn't have to go too far, I guess, this week in Milwaukee. Three and 1 on Jock Jones. The Cubs trail 3-0. Here's a pitch. Chopper to first. Mitre getting over quickly again. And another ground ball out again. The Cubs have not hit a fly ball out on the night. They lead 2. Fans letting them have it. 3-0.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet.
Who is it? Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
The most realistic baseball sim ever. MLB 07 The Show, only on PlayStation. Rated E for everyone.
I work because I care. And Monster works for me.
Monster has the most healthcare jobs on the web. Go to Monster today and find the job that works for you.
Aaron Boone on the first pitch. The 5th inning is hit, and he's headed down to first base trying to walk it off.
Well, it looked like a cut fastball that started on the inside corner and just continued to run further in. Catches Boone just below the left knee. Well, not a good thing for a lot of different reasons. That will allow Freddie Gonzalez to use Sergio Mitre to put down a sacrifice bunt here with the runner at first if Boone's okay. Trying to walk it off down there in foul territory. Mitre has yet to put down a sacrifice bunt this year.
Jim Presley is coaching first tonight. He is the Marlins hitting coach. One of our good friends, Andy Fox, under the weather, so we hope Andy's feeling better. One ball, no strikes.
Andy Fox would have appreciated that at bat by Aaron Boone.
Yes, he would. That's a great point.
Foxy was very good at making it appear like he was leaning out of the way of an inside pitch while he would stick his knee right out in the middle of the strike zone and just take a hit and go on down to first base.
Andy Fox also probably had the neatest locker in Major League history.
I never really paid any attention to it. And back in my playing days, Corey Schneider was the guy that we all thought had the neatest locker.
Lilly bobbled. He drops it. He's going to throw. And it hit Mitre, who might be injured. Sergio Mitre, a few steps before first base, slowed down. I don't know what happened, but Mitre really slowed down as he got near first base, and I think the throw hit him, as Lilly had all kinds of problems with it and will be charged with an error.
Yeah, it looked like Mitre blew a tire trying to leg out that sacrifice bunt. Lilly had trouble picking the ball up right out there in front of the mound. There's an area right in front of the mound, a little patched area where I've noticed the pitchers losing their footing when they come down off the mound. Not sure if that had anything to do with Ted Lilly on this particular play, but he's thinking about going to second all the way. He bobbles the ball, drops it a second time, and Mitre limping as he got close to first base right there. And that throw hits him on the side of the helmet to boot.
Boy. Yeah, I think you're right when you say blew a tire. I don't know, maybe tweaked a hamstring or something, but it just didn't look right as he got near first base. Freddie Gonzalez is out, along with one of the Marlins trainers, Mike Kozak. By the way, Freddie Gonzalez in his first year as a manager of the Marlins, former third base coach for Bobby Cox in Atlanta.
And it looks like Mitre is going to try to continue on here. We'll see if that affects him when he goes back out to the mound for the bottom half of the fifth inning.
The sacrifice for Mitre and an error on Lilly, and they have runners at first and third with no outs in the top of their lineup coming up. Ramirez even with third base. Lee is in. They're back up the middle trying to turn two. I mentioned Florida has won 5 straight road games. They also have won 6 in a row against the Cubs dating back to last year. Cubs trying to avoid what would be their first ever home sweep at the hands of the Marlins in a 3-game series. Gonzalez replaced Joe Girardi, who won the National League Manager of the Year award, but made it only through 1 season.
Yeah, they're going to make a change. You can see Freddie Gonzalez was asking Jim Presley down there at first base if Mitre could continue, and apparently he's not going to be able to go.
Wes Obermueller, one of their starting pitchers, is going to pinch run, and they'll have to get somebody up in their bullpen for the bottom of the 5th. So Mitre, who pitched extremely well, cannot get the win because he only went 4 innings. So he has to exit with a 3-0 advantage. Meanwhile, 0-2 on Abercrombie. Hit foul. So Randy Messenger will be the next Florida pitcher.
I do believe because Mitre left the game because of an injury, Messenger will have extra warm-up pitches on the mound if he needs them. You know, most relievers can get ready quickly enough, and Messenger is familiar with that phone ringing, get up, get ready, get in.
You know, the Cubs didn't do any damage against Mitre. They did have 3 hits. But they didn't score any runs, and he struck out 7, walked 1 in his 4 innings. But first things first, Lilly in a big jam. Here comes his 1-2 to Abercrombie. Check swing, he went. And plate umpire Jim Reynolds made that call as well.
Good breaking ball that starts in the middle of the strike zone, ends up down in the dirt just behind home plate. Abercrombie can't hold up. Get a good look at it from this angle. Way out in front of the plate. No help needed from the first base umpire on that one.
So now a ground ball to short or second, even third base. You could get a double play, get out of it. Ramirez has backed up a little bit at the hot corner. One strike on Dan Uggla. A Rule 5 pick in December of 2005. Had a great year last year. He was an all-star. Hit .282 with 27 homers, knocked in 90. He won the Sporting News Rookie of the Year, Most Outstanding NL Rookie, which is a Player's Choice Award. National League Rookie of the Year balloting, he placed third. His double play teammate Hanley Ramirez won it. There were Marlins littered all over the top 10 in that list. There's the guy who won it. I think a lot of people, Bob, thought this team was going to go through a sophomore slump, and they do come in 2 games under 500. They've really been banged up this year. Fly ball sending Jock Jones over into left center. Boone tags. He's going to score easily. And it's 4-0 as Uggla picks up his second RBI tonight.
Unfortunately for the Cubs, that ball had some topspin on it as it headed out there toward that left center field gap. When that ball initially came off his bat, I thought that was a gapper. Well, as a lot of topspin starts to sink out there, Jock Jones makes a nice running catch in the gap, but no chance to get Boone at home plate.
Two outs in the inning and a runner at first, fouled away by Ramirez.
As you mentioned, Len, Wes Obermueller, the pinch runner, one of their starting pitchers over there at first base. I'm kind of surprised the Cubs are even holding him on over there. You wouldn't think the Marlins would take a chance running one of their starting pitchers after possibly losing one of their starting pitchers on the play that preceded.
And Obermueller is a pretty good athlete, a converted shortstop slash outfielder. But he is scheduled to start tomorrow night in Milwaukee. So all Mitre can do is watch, and we'll at some point hopefully get an official report on what happened. He's going to head back to the clubhouse. That's a long walk. One ball, 2 strikes on Ramirez. The pitch, swing and a miss. Marlins settle for 1. Could have been a lot worse for Ted Lilly. It's now 4-0. That run was unearned.
Flying to the Washington area for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, Washington, and Washington Dulles International, maybe this will. Unlike other airlines, our low fares don't have hidden fees.
You are now free to move about the country.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
You as hungry as I am?
Yeah.
So what are we in the mood for?
I'll know it when I see it.
Okay, well... Oh, I think I just did.
Try Olive Garden's new stuffed pasta with shrimp, ravioli, and tortelloni filled with 5 Italian cheeses and a creamy garlic seafood sauce. Or new stuffed pasta with sausage and a homemade basil marinara, starting at $9.95. 2 great new dishes, served with endless breadsticks and salad.
You just have to know where to look.
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
American Idol Rewind, Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
There it is, the Bob Brentley bobblehead.
That's respect.
That's not bad. There's the other one, a little smaller.
Yeah, with the alternate black jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bob Brentley. All right.
At least they spelled Bob right.
Chris Marty, thanks for the email. We appreciate it. Len and Bob at AOL.com. New pitcher's Randy Messenger, and he coaxes a ground ball out of Henry Blanco.
And I understand we got an email about my Chief Wahoo bobblehead doll that's off the charts. What a great investment that was if I still had it.
Yeah, 10 to 20 bucks on the internet. That's what they're going for currently. The numbers on Messenger, the right-hander. Mitre had to leave due to an apparent leg injury. And a strike. So with Florida up 4-0, and the Cubs need to score some runs here. Still a long way to go. We're in the 5th, but Mitre can't win it. So if the Marlins do keep this lead, it'll be the most effective reliever.
And a little bit of a different look now. Messenger doesn't have the same kind of sink on his fastball that Sergio Mitre had working for him in those first 4 innings. You can see that fastball laser beam straight. Well, hopefully some of those ground balls that the Cubs hitters were pounding into the dirt in front of home plate will turn into line drives and fly balls and take advantage of that wind blowing straight out to center field now.
And a roller into left for Ted Lilly. That's his 4th career hit, number 3 this year. Now, is this what you call going with the pitch?
Yeah, and you've heard that saying, just lay your bat on the ball. That's what he does right there. Just goes down and flips it into left field. Finds that hole on the left side of the infield. That'll work. I got a feeling, man. I think the offense is going to come unglued right here.
You never want to see anybody get hurt, but you do know the Cubs wanted to see somebody other than Sergio Mitre, who was on his game again tonight. Sinatra just couldn't get it on the ground ball, hit past the first base coach's box. He was trying to show his range over there, but it just got by him. I'm going to blame the slope over there.
Yeah, that's it. The way the field is crowned, it makes that ball take some funny hops.
So Ted Lilly was dancing off first base.
Yeah, it looked like he had thoughts about breaking for second there, though. The Marlins are playing behind him with Aaron Boone over there at first base. Boone now has shortened up a couple steps. He'll be right behind Lilly as he takes his lead off. And once again, keep an eye on Miguel Olivo behind home plate.
Breaking ball strike. The 1 and 2 hitters combined 0 for 4 tonight. Big leg kick, swung on and missed. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Catch a full hour of the Emmy award-winning series Scrubs, weeknights at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
2 outs in the inning. 1 strike on Ryan Theriot. The Cubs fans have let the home team hear about it in this series. They had huge crowds throughout. I'll tell you what, at the start of every game, they've been into it when the Cubs have been introduced. They're ready to get excited. And they have so much passion. And I don't think there's one Cubs player that has said that they mind that the fans have gotten on them. They pay their money to come out, and they can voice their pleasure or displeasure, and they haven't liked what they've seen in this series, and I don't think the Cubs have either. A fly ball to right. It's a first fly ball hit by the Cubs as Hermida makes a catch. They get a hit from the pitcher, no runs. They still trail 4-0.
On the next Scrubs, JD gets something special.
If you ever donate a body part to me, you know which one I'd want?
From his soul brother.
You better have a reason for taking my man's badonka-donk-donk.
I'm building something.
What?
A brick house. It's my nightmare.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Low 5.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
We got just what you need to keep your yard beautiful and weed-free. Let's start with fertilizer.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right. Start here.
Tonight's Honda Civic game summary. Home runs in the first inning from Dan Uggla and Miguel Cabrera. Sergio Mitre, before he left due to injury, 4 shutout innings against his former team. Tonight's Honda Civic game summary. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. Best chance for the Cubs was in the 4th. They put the first 2 on with hits, but then the next 3 made outs. Ramos Ramirez guns to first. Cabrera retired. The Cubs play host to the Atlanta Braves this Sunday at 1:20. Kids get to the ballpark early. The first 5,000 kids 13 and younger will receive a Cubs home batting helmet, compliments of Pepsi. The walk and a strikeout on the line of Josh Willingham. Check swing foul. Happy birthday to Cubs left-hander Scott Air, turning 35 here on May 30th. I'm sure Scott would love to get in there and pitch well tonight. Last time Scott was on the mound was Monday afternoon. Gave up 2 runs in 2 innings. Fastball just missed. I think Ted Lilly wanted it. 1-2.
I guess for the Marlins, that's the best possible news. Just cramping in the right hamstring of Sergio Mitre. As you mentioned before, it's a muggy evening here at Wrigley. Ground ball to short should be no problem for the Riot. Got to stay hydrated.
Angel Guzman has had cramping issues. Carlos Zambrano hasn't had any problems lately, but some forearm cramping. Was that ever a problem for you?
Yeah. Everything else hurt worse than the cramp, so I never noticed them.
Base hit for Jeremy Hermida. Cliff Floyd over there to get it. And that's a single for Hermida. I mean, have you ever had the one where like you're in bed and all of a sudden a hamstring just grabs you and you feel like you're in the death lock?
I get it in the arch of my feet.
Oh yeah.
Especially in those hotel rooms on the road when the sheets are tucked in too tight down there at the bottom of the bed. Jump out and stomp around the room to get rid of the cramp. The people downstairs get upset. What's going on up there?
Just a little cramping. One strike on Miguel Olivo.
Used to suffer from a lot of brain cramps.
Yeah, Kevin Butler mentioned that. We're talking about, you asked him about kicker injuries, and he said hamstrings, groins, and then he said something about between the ears, right?
No. Pulled muscle between the ears. I really enjoyed our visit with Kevin Butler last night. What a nice guy.
Yeah, he was great. Miguel Olivo, second among Dominican-born catchers with 48 career home runs. Tony Pena, pretty good lead in that department with 106 in his long career. Kevin Butler last night called Ryan Terrio's pinch hit home run. When he threw out the first pitch, Terrio received it. And he said, you know, you got to go out there and get a hit tonight. And the next pitch, Terrio deposited into the bleachers in left center. One and two on Olivo. Hermida with a 2-out single, keeping this inning alive. The first hit for Florida since the second. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Inning over. Time to get the offense going. Lee, Floyd, Ramirez coming up.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris. Yeah, right.
I am just so sick of this.
Dude, what do you expect? You went with Geico.com. What, to save some money?
It's my life, okay?
Just a little loyalty would be nice, that's all.
What? Having Geico makes me less of a caveman?
Tina's here. We're getting back together.
Hey, give us a minute.
Geico.com. So easy, a caveman can do it.
Honey?
Well, hello.
Hello.
Look what I found.
They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve in the new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard treats at Dairy Queen with waffle pieces and chocolate chunks. Do one.
Chicks, dig Becker.
Someone has been working out.
Becker, watch him operate 5 nights a week.
Late nights on Superstation WGN.
The National League's leading hitter, Derek Lee, 1 for 2. He started the night at .354. Strikeout in the first, a single in the fourth. That was a leadoff hit. Cliff Floyd followed with a single, but then they both remained at first and second the rest of the inning. Cubs 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The left on base numbers can be deceiving. The Cubs have left 18 on base going into tonight in the first 2 games of the series, but Florida stranded 20 and won both times. 5 left tonight by the Cubs, 3 for the Marlins. And the reason left on base can be deceiving is that if you leave a lot of guys on, that means you're getting a lot of guys on in the first place. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. And they don't always come around to score.
Derek Lee going down on strikes. I think he was more upset with the called strike before this pitch. It was a fastball in a similar location. Jim Reynolds called it a strike for Randy Messenger, and then Derek feels like he's got to protect against that pitch and takes a feeble swing on a ball that cuts out of the strike zone. It's like that one with the batting average with runners in scoring position. You can get a base hit with the runner in scoring position and he won't score. Stop at third base, you know, the outfielder gets the throw back in quickly. Well, that'll up your average with runners in scoring position, but you didn't drive in any run.
Or a double with a man at first that scores him. Doesn't count in that department. Does count with the runners on base situation.
Well, there's no question statistics are a large part of our game, and people pay a lot of attention to the statistics. The only one that matters is win and lost.
Jump throw by Ugla. Boone. It came off the bag. Cliff might simply have beaten it out. It's a hit.
Well, I thought we might see Dan Ugla try the backhanded flip to Hanley Ramirez on that play. For a second baseman to go that far up the middle of the field and then try to throw off balance back against your body, very little chance to get the runner. And Cliff Floyd was hustling down that first baseline. Right there, I thought Ugla was going to make the play and flip to Ramirez, who was right there beside him. Throw pulls Boone off the bag. I think Cliff would have beat it anyway.
So he has his second knock. Popped up by Ramirez. Flips the bat away in disgust. It's caught by Hanley Ramirez. 2 outs. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check out our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. On the blog tonight, I have a post we call Groundhog Day. BB blogs with his version of the Cubs struggle entitled Digging In. And a new feature, if you're coming to Wrigley or just want to check out the current friendly confines weather, you can check it out by looking at our live weather bug. You can go to WGNTV.com or click on our link on our WGN baseball blog for the most up-to-date weather. And as always, check out game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. All on WGNTV.com. Click on the link for Len and Bob's blog. Speaking of bugs, have you seen any cicadas? They're all over my neighborhood.
No, not yet. And I'm right down there by Lincoln Park. I figured I'd see a bunch of them by now.
I want you to know that I saved a cicada the other night. Now, I was told by my 6-year-old son that if a cicada ends up on his back, his or her back, that not going to make it. So I saw it last night, and I very gently flipped him back over, and he crawled away.
What a gentle person. I think I would have dug a little tiny hole right next to him and just shoved him in and been done with it.
Apparently they've become a delicacy as well. I don't think I'm going to go there, but
no, you can have my helping.
All right. Yeah, they're in abundance in certain parts of the area. I talked with Roger Baird, head groundskeeper here at Wrigley Field, a couple of days ago. I didn't talk to him today, but he said they weren't really showing up as of yet. DeRosa trying to make some contact after striking out twice swinging against Mitre. Makes contact there. Humpback liner brought in by Willingham. He'll head back into the Marlins dugout. Cubs trail 4-zip.
Everything he can do and everything he is, he owes to the man he can't forgive. He Got Game, a Spike Lee joint.
Saturday at 4 Eastern.
Sorry, dude. Only got one left. Hey, I'm gonna grab some nachos. Walter! Watch my Bud Light, buddy.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Does Walter like nachos?
McDonald's is throwing us a party. They're even putting us on glasses. What? Putting glasses on me? I don't need no glasses. My eyesight is perfect. 20/20. Donkey. They're putting us on the... I see what's happening here, Shrek. Pussy's got you thinking my eyesight is not as good as his. Just because I lost that chess game to the mice. Because I accidentally sat on Gingy.
Only McDonald's is celebrating DreamWorks Shrek the Third with collectible glasses featuring all your favorite characters.
Oh, why can't they put us on glasses instead of in glasses? You know I'm not going to fit in the glass.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Time now for our Bud Light Fan Cam, a track from Lincoln Park's new release, Shadow of the Day. Shadow of the Day from Minutes to Midnight, the new release by Lincoln Park. If you like Lincoln Park, we think you'll love it. Check it out. Tonight's Bud Light Fan Cam, always worth it.
It's a little bit of a softer sound for Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with some of their hard rockers.
Actor and Chicago native Bill Peterson will be the guest conductor for the 7th inning stretch tonight. Aaron Boone with another base hit. He's been on all 3 times. He got on 3 times last night with 2 walks and a single. Well, Ted Lilly's night to this point, Bob, looks worse than maybe it is because his team hasn't given him any run support. But when you think about how he started tonight, and we haven't seen Ted Lilly in his best stuff, but he's hanging around. 1 unearned run of the 4 and pitching into the 7th. Todd Linden, a switch hitter, pinch batting. for Randy Messenger. Two strikes on the former Giant. Daniel Pinto, who at one time was in the Cubs chain. And right-hander Angel Guzman is up for the Cubs. Todd Linden was claimed off waivers on May 18th from the Giants.
But Ted Lilly wanted that pitch badly right there. He missed with a curveball up on the pitch before. He scooted it down in the strike zone, thought he had a strike, and did not get the call from Jim Reynolds. That's the way Lilly reacts after this non-call. It may have been below the zone when Henry caught it, but when that ball crossed the front of home plate, I'm pretty sure it was right in the middle of the strike zone.
I believe Todd Linden played with Ryan Theriot at LSU. They were both taken in the 2001 draft. Low 3-2. Linden played at the University of Washington, did transfer to LSU in 2001, and was taken in the first round that year by San Francisco. The Cubs grabbed Theriot in the third round in 01. Here comes a 3-2 pitch, called strike three. That's 8 for Ted Lilly.
Boy, when you see a major league hitter take this pitch, that's just overthinking right there. A 3-2 count. He'd seen a steady diet of big, slow breaking balls, and Ted Lilly fires a fastball right down the heart of the plate and locks up Linden.
Reggie Abercrombie with his second start in the series in center. It was Alfredo Amezaga last night. Time called. The ball snuck past. And here comes bullpen catcher. I believe Edgar Tovar is out there at the moment, handling Guzman. Foul tipped into the glove of Henry Blanco. And there's Edgar Tovar, and in front of him, Corey Miller. Both in their first season with the Cubs. Lilly coming to the plate. And 2 strikes on Abercrombie. With the 8 strikeouts, Ted Lilly 2 away from his season high of 10. He struck out 9 in his first start at Cincinnati. His career best 13 back in 04. And Abercrombie flails at a curveball, strike 3. And it's time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. William Peterson, star of CSI, throwing out tonight's first pitch. Very nice.
Steve Reicha. Nice smooth delivery, deceptive speed.
So we're 1 out away from the 7th inning stretch. Outside on Dan Uggla. And the Cardinals losing their catcher Yadier Molina 4 to 6 weeks. He has a broken left wrist. Gary Bennett in their lineup tonight. They're in the 3rd inning in Colorado. Cardinals 2, Rockies 2. Brad Hawk with his 8th home run.
Did it say how he broke his left wrist?
Let's see. Left the game yesterday. Was hit by a foul. Boy, hit by a foul ball. Suffered a fractured left wrist. So missed the glove, I guess. Non-displaced fracture. They have called up catcher Brian Esposito from AAA Memphis. So he'll at some point see his first big league action. 3 balls, no strikes. Boone started the inning with a single. It's what you said, BB. Not going to see a lot of take signs on 3-0 tonight.
No. Especially not for those guys with some pop in their bat. Dan Uggla's already proven tonight he's got big time pop. Went deep back in the first inning. Put the Marlins on the board.
Carlos Tosca, the bench coach, former Toronto Blue Jays manager, chatting with Freddie Gonzalez. 3-1. Outside corner, full count. Really trying to put away Dan Uggla. A pitch with a runner going. High in the air to center. It's deep. But Jock Jones on the warning track. Oh, just got out. Thought Jock was going to have enough room, but Dan Uggla just hit his second home run of the night. Third home run for the Marlins, and it's 6-0.
Boy, he hit that ball so high it got up above the roof of the stadium in a hurry, got up into that jet stream and just continued to carry deeper and deeper into straightaway center field. Looked like Jock might have a beat on it as he goes back here near the warning track. He starts to break it down a little bit, and that ball just continues to carry up into the batter's eye for a 2-run bomb.
Another fly ball, this time Hanley Ramirez, and Cliff Floyd makes a catch. Bill Peterson coming up with our 7th inning stretch.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, actor and Chicago native William Peterson.
All right, you guys, let's turn this season around right now. Wake up, Harry in heaven. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jam. I don't care if I ever get back, or it's root for the Commies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get a bunch of runs!
I work to close the deal, and Monster works for me.
Monster has the most sales jobs on the web. Go to Monster today and find the job that works for you.
Wait, DQ put the cone in the soft serve? Yet they can't give me a face. Oh, the irony. The new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard Treat at Dairy Queen. With crunchy waffle cone pieces, caramel, and chocolate chunks. Do one.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Share an intimate moment with a doctor. Scrubs. They're overworked.
Dr. Reed? I'm not sucking my thumb.
Underappreciated. And socially inept.
Are you planning on making this worth my while?
But surprisingly good dancers. And on call 5 times a week.
5 times? Oh, really?
Scrubs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Weeknights at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Chicago native Bill Peterson with us. Great job as always with the stretch, getting this crowd going. And I'll tell you, Bill, we've had unbelievable crowds this entire series, and they're just waiting to get excited.
I know, man. It's been bizarre. That's all I know. It's just been bizarre.
Reniel
We got a great
Pinto's
team.
on. Yeah, you know, the numbers, the talent is not matching the record right now.
It's going to come. We'll get this thing turned around.
Jock Jones high in the air. But not enough distance as Abercrombie makes a catch. So what's doing these days? What's going on?
Well, we're on our break from CSI, so we get to come to a few Cubs games, which is great. We start up again in July, so they give us about 9 weeks off, which is great. Gives us a chance to see the families and see some baseball.
So the upcoming season will be season what?
Number 8.
8.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, you know, who would have thunk it? You know, we thought we'd try and do a decent TV show, maybe be on for a year or two, and here we are.
You know, you've done more than a decent TV show, that's for sure.
Well, it's been remarkable, and we're unbelievably blessed.
I don't know what the statistics are. Henry Blanco, another ball hit high in the air, but again, not deep enough as Willingham makes a catch. I don't know what the numbers are, but you think about series that either don't see the light of day or get a pilot, maybe half a season, and then go away.
Hundreds of them.
It's just truly remarkable, but it says a lot about the great writing and the great acting on the show.
We have a great group, a really remarkable group, and we just opened an exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry down on the South Side, and it's called the CSI Experience, and it's really a treat for people that like the show or people that like science. It's a tribute to the show that they did that, so we're very proud of it.
I have to ask you, you know, in your business, is there anything similar to the struggles that the Cubs are going through? I mean, the personnel is there, the numbers are there. It should equate to a better season than we're seeing so far. Do you ever experience that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of shows. There was a few last year that just had a remarkable cast and a lot of really great writers and a pretty good idea, you know, and it just didn't gel. I mean, there was a couple of shows I had friends on that was off after 4 or 5 episodes, and you're just like, how can that be? You know, but it's a combination of things, just like this.
There's a strike, 1-1 on the pinch hitter, Matt Merton. Now, you went to Idaho State on a football scholarship.
Well, that's a bit of a misnomer, Glenn. I went there.
We're pumping you up.
My grade point average was so bad that I had to take theater classes to get my grade level up so that I could even be eligible. And I fell in love with the theater, of course, and the rest was history. I left football and everything else in the dust.
Do you ever think, what if? You shouldn't have to. I mean, you've had an unbelievable career,
well,
but you ever think, gosh, I could have 7 concussions?
Yeah, that's what would have happened. I'm not sure I would ever actually seen the football field. I probably would have been toast in practice.
How about the Bears season? Wow. We had Kevin Butler on last night. We've had a lot of current Bears on.
It was a riot. We were actually in Miami, and it was a great first quarter.
Yeah, it was. Popped up by Matt Merton. And Aaron Boone will make the catch. Bill, can you hang around for a couple more minutes?
Sure, whatever you like.
Bill Peterson with us, 6-0 Florida.
Everything he can do.
He's the real thing.
And everything he is.
This kid is heaven sent.
He owes to the man.
Go strong anywhere. Show me what you got.
He can't forgive. Denzel Washington.
You just like everybody else. I ain't like everybody else. Everybody else ain't your father.
He Got Game, a Spike Lee joint.
Saturday at 4 Eastern.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again. without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
This year, when you can't be at home to watch the Cubs on TV, check out MLB.tv. You can watch every out-of-market game of the season live online, even when you're traveling. And this year, live radio broadcasts are included with a subscription to MLB.tv. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Actor and Chicago native Bill Peterson in the booth with us. And actually, this is funny because our first year, 2005, you did the 7th inning stretch, and I kept calling you William, and I got criticized a little bit on the radio for it.
We teased you about that,
and I called in, and I said, you know, I wanted to be respectful. You know, that's your name. It's on the list here and everything. And then I found out everybody calls you Bill, so I just wanted to be proper. That glanced off the glove of Ramirez, and Cabrera's on.
You can call me anything you like.
New pitcher for the Cubs, Angel Guzman. Well, Bob and I talk to players all the time about how they like their name pronounced. And a lot of times it's mispronounced for a long time. And you go up and you say, well, really? I thought it was this. And the guy says, well, nobody ever asked.
Right.
So we always prefer to call people what they prefer to be called.
I've been called a lot of things, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Hey, did you have any nicknames in your football playing days?
Not. Well, they used to call me Bird.
Bird?
Because I had a whole lot of hair, and it looked like a bird's nest. It started as Bird's Nest, and then it went to Bird.
One strike on Willingham. Well, one of the things you get to do when you do the stretch is you chat with Pat and Ron before you come over here. I know Ron's one of your heroes. And,
yeah, he signed my shirt.
Oh, he did.
Look at that.
Very nice.
It's number 10, if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
right on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a hero growing up. Still is a hero.
Yeah, a hero to a lot of people, including us. Willingham. Well, that sounded like a home run. And it looks like one. Out toward the batter's eye. 2-run shot. And they're pouring it on. Absolutely crushed by Willingham. It's 4 home runs allowed tonight by the Cubs.
Well, there's no doubt that Uggla's home run got a little bit of an assist from that wind blowing straight out to center field. I don't think this one needed much help. Made that noise, that pure crack of ball on bat.
But another rough night for Lou Piniella. Well, let's just think big picture here for a second, Bill. Sum up what it means to be a diehard fan of the Chicago Cubs.
It's rough. And this is one of the roughest patches I can remember, just because I know this team is so much better than this. And I'm sure they're going to get this turned around. Somebody's going to make a spectacular play, hit another clutch home run or something. The whole thing's going to spin around.
Jeremy Hermida finds a right field corner.
Just not right now.
And that's a double. So a single, a home run, and a 2-base hit. Well, I said it earlier. You know, the fans have gotten on the Cubs, but the Cubs deserve it. And the players have said that throughout. But these fans came out tonight. They were excited. I was listening when the players were introduced. They were into it. They cheer for the base hits. They want to get into it.
This is our home team.
Yep.
And it always will be, win, lose, or, whatever. And, I mean, there's a certain part of having not won a World Series in 100 years that makes you come out, I mean, I'll never stop. There's hard times. There's times where you just get disappointed a lot, but you turn on the TV again the next night. And like I said, I know these guys are going to get back together.
You know, the best fans in the world. Miguel Olivo at the plate. Nobody out in the 8th inning. And this is, you know, even though the Cubs have struggled lately, they have not been blown out much. And much has been made of the close one-run losses. But it's been rare to see the Cubs down 8-0.
Well, especially on a night like this with the wind blowing out, very warm temperatures. We talked a lot about the early part of the season when the wind was blowing in and it was cold, and you know, we need some warm weather to get the offense going, and so far we haven't cracked the scoreboard.
Foul tipped into the glove by Olivo.
You've probably said this, Bob, but they seem tight to me. I mean, you know, every game you just see them and they break out of it for an inning or two and they come back and they catch up and then they get tight again.
Kicks away from Blanco, and the runner heads now to third.
Well, I think some of the fans' frustration, Bill, it would be like if you showed the same episode of CSI every week for, you know, 6 months.
Well, yeah.
You've seen a lot of this year, you know, fundamental mistakes and lack of timely hitting, and you know, eventually they're going to tune you out.
It's frustrating. I'm sure no more so than for the players.
Well, that's the thing, as high as the expectations are for the fans, the players expect a lot out of themselves, and there is nobody more frustrated in this ballpark than those guys out there in the white uniforms right now.
Yeah.
Splintered bat by Olivo. All right, last thing, Bill. How much have you learned about forensics?
Quite more than I ever thought I would ever know. Let's put it that way. Yeah, no, you know, it's actually interesting because I'd stayed away from television for a long time because you get stuck playing the same character. If the show is successful, you could be on it for a long time and playing the same guy. And I wanted at least a show that would be interesting from week to week, and I would learn something from it. And this show has done that for me. I mean, I have a whole new appreciation of science.
Little dribbler, and that'll keep the runner at third. Hermida, as Olivo is thrown out. Yeah, do you find yourself in your downtime? I mean, I'm sure it helps in preparing for the role, but just, you know, seeing stories in the paper and going, wow, okay,
that's exactly. I read articles that I never would have read 8-10 years ago, you know, where I understand them at least a lot better than I did before. And it's really remarkable. And the people I've met that are in the science community and in the forensics community and the law enforcement profession is just a remarkable group of people across the country.
I don't know if you read the books or saw the movie Zodiac, but you think about how far we've come with forensics, and if that had happened 15 or 20 years later, they probably actually would have caught.
Oh,
Zodiac
sure, absolutely.
Point,
I mean, you know, heck, just since the OJ trial,
right?
They've made incredible advances.
Ground ball to third, and Aaron Boone makes an out. And you were in Manhunter, correct?
Yes. That was where I first sort of got a taste of it, working with the FBI forensics lab in Washington, D.C. It was about an FBI profiler, but there was a lot of stuff in the movie. That's one of the reasons that, in fact, that film was one of the reasons why we thought that maybe CSI could be successful, because people had always been interested in how these guys caught guys, you know, and all the different tools they had to use.
This is Joe Borchard, former White Sox switch hitter. And you see his numbers pinch hitting. Tough loss for the White Sox today. A game-ending bases-loaded walk as the Twins beat him. And a 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's like both sides of town are on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
This summer.
Now, do you follow the White Sox at all? I guess I'll ask.
Well, I do on, you know, I don't go over their box score, but I check the score.
The pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
As we all do here in Chicago. I have a lot of friends that are serious White Sox fans, so I needle them as much as I can.
Cubs will play the Sox coming up again in June. They took 2 of 3 against the White Sox. It was the last series the Cubs won. They have lost, including this series, 3 consecutive sets. Ground ball up the middle. and through for a base hit. And it's now 9-0 as the Marlins really pouring it on now. That's their third run of the inning. You know, Bill, always a pleasure. And you know, you're always welcome to stop up, whether you're singing or not. And we'll catch CSI coming up this fall again.
It's a thrill for me to be up here and be with you guys and to be able to see the game from up here. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bob.
Bill Peterson. Well, he's hoping these Cubs are going to turn it around, and everybody here just waiting for it to happen. A players-only meeting before the game. The Cubs talking a lot about how to change things. There's a hit batter. Abercrombie's on. But it just hasn't happened tonight.
Looks like it catches Abercrombie on the back of the left arm there. He'll head on down to first base.
Ugla is the 8th batter of the inning. He has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. And a first pitch strike. Broken bat, and he was a little bit out in front. Atlanta beat Milwaukee 9-3. The Cubs started the night 5.5 back, but Lou Piniella said a couple days ago, standings don't matter to him. What other teams are doing, that doesn't matter. All he cares about is getting his team pointed in the right direction. Strike 3 call to end the inning as Florida adds 3 to their big lead. It's now 9-0.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
Welcome to California.
We cruise. We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther with more than 90 daily flights from Chicago Midway to these cities.
You are now free to move about the country.
You as hungry as I am?
Yeah.
So what are we in the mood for?
I'll know it when I see it.
Okay, well, I think I just did.
Try Olive Garden's new stuffed pasta with shrimp, ravioli, and tortelloni filled with 5 Italian cheeses and a creamy garlic seafood sauce. Or new stuffed pasta with sausage and a homemade basil marinara, starting at $9.95. 2 great new dishes, served with endless breadsticks and salad.
You just have to know where to look.
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Becker Psycho Shrink makes a house call.
Hi, Becker.
Next, Becker.
You really are crazy, aren't you?
Tonight at 12:30 Eastern.
Let's take a look at our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule sponsored by Comcast. Cubs hosting Atlanta noon Central on Saturday. And again Sunday against the Braves, 1 o'clock with the leadoff man show. Monday night, Sox will take on the Yankees on WCIU. Channel 26 at 6 o'clock. Looks like that'll be the 2007 debut of Roger Clemens for the Yankees. So 2007 Major League Baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. Right-hander Justin Miller now working for Florida. Miller pitched last night. A walk, no runs in 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Cabrera just gets Soriano. And Alfonso is 0 for 4. Boy, Bob, we've heard the fans get on this team the last 2 years, but we're at the point now where every out the Cubs make, they're hearing it.
No, I think, much like Bill Peterson and you and I were talking about in that last half inning, this is a good baseball team. Personnel-wise, statistically, historically, this is a ball club that should be playing much better than they are. It'd be a whole different story if this was a rebuilding year and you had a bunch of young players and just some fill-in guys, just to send a team out there on a daily basis until you could rebuild, but that's not the case. This was a team that was built to bang, built to score lots of runs. And you don't need any more illustration than that big 0 after the Cubs there on the scoreboard at the top of the screen. On a night when the wind has been blowing out 15 to 20 miles an hour the whole evening, they haven't been able to score. Now, certainly a lot of that goes to the effectiveness of Sergio Mitre, the Florida starter in this ball game, as Terrio grounds to short.
What a play by Boone. A low throw that bounced from Ramirez. Well, the expectations were enormous going into this season, even though the Cubs had the worst record in the National League last year. The thing about tonight that you really don't like, among other things, is that they've been out-homered 4-0. We saw way too much of it last year. And as you said, this is a much different ball club, particularly offensively, than the 2006 version. And these are the kinds of nights where this offense was really supposed to open up.
And I really thought after Mitre left the ball game, that was going to open the door for the offense to really turn it loose, facing a sinker ball pitcher who was really throwing well for the first 4 innings. And it was tough to put a lot of good swings on the ball, but once they got into that Marlins bullpen, I thought the offense would really light it up.
They go down quietly in the 8th inning. The 9th inning around the corner, all Florida once again.
Here we go. $500,000 in cash up for grabs and one wicked sting about to go down. Pam Grier, Samuel L. Jackson, Bridget Fonda, Michael Keaton, Robert Forster, and Robert De Niro.
Is she dead? Pretty much.
Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown.
Thursday at 7:30 on Superstation WGN.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just the Midas touch.
Hey, Cub fans, win great Cubs prizes in the Bud Light Ultimate Cub Fan Sweepstakes. Look for specially marked 24 packs of Bud Light. Budweiser and Bud Select. You could win a number of great prizes, including the grand prize of 2 Cubs season tickets for the 2008 season. Bud Light and Chicago Cubs baseball. Always worth it. Closer Ryan Dempster getting an inning of work. Off day tomorrow. Braves come in for 3 starting Friday. And Hanley Ramirez promptly fouls it near the Cubs dugout.
Well, Ryan has not pitched since the 26th of this month on that last road trip against L.A. You just cannot let your closer sit too long. Obviously, you hope to have opportunities for him to come in and save ball games on a fairly regular basis, but if not, you still have to get him in there and get some work.
Ramirez is safe. Aramis got a tricky hop, but he fielded it cleanly, and the throw was a little offline. But again, Ramirez with that very good speed, able to get to first, and Bob Rosenberg, the official score, calls it a hit.
Now, Ramirez backs up a couple of steps to play that ball on the big second hop. His throw across the infield pulls Derek off the bag.
Not only is this a huge test for the Cubs players. Lou Piniella has done this for a very long time, but this is a big challenge for him, Bob, because he has made a lot of changes. Tweaking the lineup, reconfiguring the bullpen a little bit. He used the word patience yesterday. And so he's going to have to pick his spots with further changes. We may see them at some point. But you also don't want to get to the point where, as a manager, you're putting too much pressure on your players. You want accountability. You want them to know that they need to perform to remain in the lineup. But if you keep making changes and you've used everybody and you still don't win, I mean, you kind of run out of options in that regard. Is that the toughest part of being a manager, is going through stretches like this and finding ways? Okay, all right, as frustrated as I am, I'd love to go into the clubhouse and air them out, but you know, I got to be careful tonight. And in other times when you're playing well, and instead of patting them on the back saying, hey, you know, you guys made an error in the 8th inning, I know we won 7-0, but that's not good enough. That's always the art, I guess, in managing.
Yeah, it's a tightrope, there's no question about it. And, you know, the bottom line is you can do everything in the world as a manager, but if the players don't perform on the field, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, Lou could fill out a lineup, Ted Lilly leading off. Send them out there, and they may win a ball game, but the players have to play on the field. Lou tries to line them up as best he can on a given night. He looks at the matchups against the opposing pitcher, who's hot, who's cold. You know, how can we best win this game tonight? And then you send the lineup out there and you hope they do the things that you anticipate them doing. But players have to play the game. That's the bottom line. And that's where the patience comes in. I talk about rhythms and cycles of the game all the time. And ideally, when you have a couple guys on a down cycle, you have a couple of other guys who are red hot at that time, and you can kind of ham and egg it. You can, you know, one hand washes the other. When a couple guys in the lineup are struggling, you have a couple other guys that get red hot. And unfortunately, the Cubs haven't had that for any extensive stretch of the season up to this point.
You have a coaching staff that works extremely hard. Talking with Gerald Perry before the game, the Cubs hitting coach, and the guy who really lives and dies in every at bat from his players. He played this game, but again, he cannot get in the batter's box. Two balls, no strikes on Willingham. And you and I both talked about Gerald Perry and the approach that he has espoused from the first day of spring training. And he's had a lot of success as a hitting coach in his career. He was with Lou Piniella in Seattle. And he always had a terrific on-base percentage there. Most recently with the Oakland A's. He's watched his club finish first or second in its league in walks 4 times. And that was a key improvement the Cubs wanted to make in the offseason, improving that on-base percentage and the patience.
And we have seen glimpses of that, a game here or a game there, but once again, just not with any consistency.
Well, the Cubs tonight have taken just 1 walk. They're 5 for 29 on the evening. 2 men on. And I think the most baffling part of the first 2 months, as we finish up May tonight with the off day tomorrow, is what I thought, and you can answer for yourself, what I thought the strength of this team, if you had to put it all in order, I thought the bullpen would be #1 on the list going into this season. Based on what we saw last year from Ayer and Howery, I thought Ryan Dempster was going to come back and be very good. He added a left-hander, Neil Kotz, to the mix. Michael Wirtz with a terrific second half last year. And it's been wildly inconsistent.
And a close second to that strong bullpen, I felt, was going to be the offense. You add Alfonso Soriano to an already stacked lineup, and you just had the feeling going into this that Cubs were going to pound teams into submission on a nightly basis, and they may still end up doing that, but once again, the inconsistency, we just haven't seen it for any stretch of time.
Both out strikeouts in the inning. And now Miguel Olivo with his 5th at bat. Paid crowd tonight, 39,699. And very quiet right now, and many have headed for the exits with the home team down 9. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Make it 1-1. Well, maybe a young Braves scout in attendance.
Advanced scout. Starting him young.
The Marlins will open up a 4-game weekend set in Milwaukee tomorrow night. If they win this one and they're well on their way, they'll be within a game of 500. They just got swept by the Mets. But they're trying to do the same here against the Cubs. The Cubs have not been swept in a 3-game series all year. That is in jeopardy tonight.
You know, Len, I talked to a lot of fans around town in the building where I live, and you know, they all seem to be asking the same question. Well, what can they do? What can we do to snap out of this? And I think back to some of the managers I had in the minor leagues and some of the crazy things you used to do to try to get your offense going. I had one manager that filled out the lineup card with the starting lineup, the 9 players, put all the bats in a barrel, and you had to close your eyes and just pick a bat. It didn't matter whose it was, and that's the bat you had to use that night.
Did it work?
No.
Well, at least he tried, right? Bottom 9, 9-0 Florida.
To stop a terror threat, Jack plays a dangerous game with the enemy.
Jack tried to Big Salazar out of prison.
A prison break that erupts in chaos. And when Jack is taken hostage, the enemy plays a dangerous game with him.
Gonna be Agent Jack against Ramon Salazar.
Next 24.
Saturday at 11:30 Eastern.
Tired of being nickel and dimed by other airlines?
Is this your first flight?
On Southwest Airlines, our leather seats, blankets, pillows, snacks, and smiles are always free.
You are now free to move about the country.
Sometimes all you need is Advance Auto Parts. Now through June 30th, all air filters are 25% off. Save gas, save money, breathe easier. We're ready in Advance.
You know, testing my blood sugar is such a hassle.
Mom, why not make your life easier? Try the Breeze 2 meter. It's the one I use because it has 10 tests in one disc, and I never have to code.
Introducing the new Breeze 2 meter from Bayer. With no coding and now a smaller blood sample and results in 5 seconds. It's easier than ever. Call 800-554-9393 or go online now to get your free Breeze 2 meter, a $65 value.
That sounds a lot easier.
That's easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Another rough night for the Chicago Cubs. The Florida Marlins have hit 4 home runs and lead 9-0 with 3 outs to go. How about that shot? Nicely done by our great WGN sports crew. Here's right-hander Lee Gardner. Some changes on the infield for the Marlins. Aaron Boone from first to third, and Jason Wood now playing first. Toward the bullpen area, and it drops just foul.
Getting back to the topic we were talking about before that last half inning ended, I had another manager in the minor leagues that he knew the 8 guys he wanted in the starting lineup, but we were having trouble settling on a batting order, so the first guy that walked through the door that day was the leadoff hitter. The second guy that came through was the number 2 hitter, and that's the way we played that night. And it isn't so much that you're trying to find something new that you're going to stick with. It's the idea of trying to get guys to relax, go out there and play the game, have a little fun with it, do something that maybe is a little out of your comfort zone, and prove to yourself that you can still go out and play the game. I've had managers throw the lineup card on the floor and say, here, you guys figure it out. That's always an interesting proposition. Ooh.
Deep to center. Not deep enough as Abercrombie makes a catch. So it's Ramirez with 1 out, nobody on. Cubs are trying to avoid what would be their second shutout loss. They have shut out the opposition 4 times. Pop foul by Ramirez. He was beaten by the Reds 1-0. Only other shutout loss on April 15th. That's strike 3, 2 down. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports is Pete Thomas. Skip Ellison is our director. Mark Brady, our associate producer. The executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our stage manager in the booth, Angie Adocchio, our studio coordinator back at WGN, Jeff Carrier, and our great crew here at Wrigley Field. And also congratulations to one of our coordinators at WGN, PJ Crushell, and his wife Nicole, on the birth of their first child yesterday. Ouch. Mark DeRosa hit by a pitch.
Well, you remember back in the 8th inning, after giving up 3 runs with 2 outs, Reggie Abercrombie was plunked by Angel Guzman. Perhaps a payback here from the Marlins with 2 outs in the 9th inning. I mean, Gardner's considered a finesse pitcher, a guy that has to hit his spots, and if he was trying to hit Mark DeRosa in the rear end, he hit his spot. Yeah, finesse pitchers don't usually miss their spot by that much.
Yeah. An interesting look out toward the mound by DeRosa. So congrats to the Crucials. Samantha Rose weighed in at 8 pounds 6 ounces, 21 inches, doing great. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Beautiful name.
The 1-0 to Jock Jones. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lee Gardner is a Midwesterner from Heartland, Michigan. Undrafted out of Central Michigan University in 1998, signed with Tampa Bay. And gobbled up by Jason Wood, and he steps on first. And the Cubs are swept at home in a 3-game series for the first time ever at the hands of the Florida Marlins. 9-0. The final score. We'll take a break and be back with more in a moment.
His dad's facing jail time. Next on WGN News at 9, a Chicago alderman talks about his father's arrest and what he thinks is really behind it. Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant unhappy in L.A. Is he on the trade market? Gyrating their way to fame and fortune, what these Chicago women hope to win with a few smooth moves.
You packed your own shoots for the first time, and that's a big deal. As a surprise, I stocked the fridge in the hangar with Bud Light.
Hey, where's the Bud Light?
So let's Polo.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable. Well, we'll see about that.
Got a lot of projects?
Yeah.
We've got what you need. Come on.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right. Start here.
Final totals now for the Florida Marlins: 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors, 7 men stranded. For the Cubs, 0 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, also 7 left. The winning pitcher in relief, Randy Messenger, he was the most effective Marlin in relief of Sergio Mitre. 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He's 1-1. Ted Lilly suffering his first defeat since April 20th. He drops to 4-3, 2 hours 35 minutes in front of 39,699. Tonight's Budweiser plays of the game: Dan Uggla with half of the 4 Florida home runs. He went deep in the opening inning, second batter of the game, and then again a 2-run shot in the 7th inning. So it was the Dan Uglas show tonight.
Yeah, we talked about the conditions here at Wrigley tonight. The Marlins able to take advantage. The Cubs were not.
Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. We'll be back to wrap it up in a moment.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains and TV as video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some tables.
Right.
Want to talk to someone who really knows hotels? Call the experts at Hotels.com. They've got the inside scoop on over 70,000 properties. They're available 24/7, and they'll always find you the best price guaranteed. Just log on or call 800-2HOTELS now. Hotels.com. You know hotels inside and out.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Come spring and summer, our yard is our family room. We sleep in there, but we definitely live out here.
I really just like the feeling of the grass.
We like a healthy lawn, and it's got to be durable, and our lawn really is both.
A healthy lawn means that we can get out there, feel comfortable in the grass.
We use Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. It feeds the lawn, and it kills dandelions.
We hate dandelions. We don't like to have them around.
I got some good old-fashioned grass stains on my pants. That's a sign of a good day. We had a lot of fun and want to do it again tomorrow. That's our Scott's lawn.
Our next telecast of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, will be this Saturday against the Atlanta Braves. It'll be Game 2 of the upcoming series. Left-handers on the hill. Chuck James for the Braves. Rich Hill for the Cubs. Our broadcast begins at noon Central Time, our 60th year, bringing you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station. Once again, our final score tonight. Florida 9, the Cubs nothing. So for Bob Brenly, Pete Thomas, Skip Ellison, Mark Brady, Bob Borwald, and our entire crew, this is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. The WGN News is coming up next.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Bud.TV, where entertainment is always on and only on www.bud.tv. Comcast, catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888 for Best TV today. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit Southwest.com today.
You're as hungry as I am?
Yeah. So what are we in the mood for?
I'll know it when I see it.
Okay, well... Oh, I think I just did.
Try Olive Garden's new stuffed pasta with shrimp, ravioli, and tortelloni filled with 5 Italian cheeses and a creamy garlic seafood sauce. Or new stuffed pasta with sausage and a homemade basil marinara, starting at $9.95. 2 great new dishes, served with endless breadsticks and salad.
You just have to know where to look.
Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
There may be better ways to spend 15 minutes online. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. There may be better ways to spend 15 minutes online. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
We have breaking news tonight. A newborn baby, minutes old, rescued from a plastic bag. WGN's Julie Unruh live at West Suburban Medical Center where the child is now. And Julie, what can you tell us?
Police sources confirm with WGN that a healthy baby tonight is doing all right, recovering after a night that could have turned out very differently. Chicago police sources tell WGN that law enforcement arrived to the 4900 block of West Cortez around 6 p.m. or so. They were told a newborn baby may be inside, dead or alive, they didn't know at the time, inside an apartment building. The call, a woman, possibly in her 20s, had given birth to a child who turned out to be about 7 pounds or maybe more. Then she allegedly tried to conceal the birth by tossing it into a bag with her bloodied clothes. A family member reportedly discovered the woman after the birth and rushed her to Mount Sinai Hospital. It was there that medical staff called authorities when they discovered that she was showing signs of a recent birth. Fire department personnel rushed to the apartment and found the garbage bag with the child inside. It was hidden in a closet, sources do tell us. And believe it or not, paramedics were able to resuscitate the baby on the scene. Again, they rushed it here to West Suburban Medical Center. We should mention authorities tonight are at Mount Sinai Hospital doing a full evaluation of the woman. That is likely both a physical and a mental evaluation. We are told by police sources that the acts tonight did appear criminal in nature, but of course the investigation is still very fresh. We're live at West Suburban Medical Center. Julie Unruh, WGN News.
Good to know that baby's going to be okay. Julie, thank you. Another Chicago public school student is murdered, this time, police say possibly at the hands of a family member. WGN's Tom Negovin is live at Area 2 Police Headquarters on the south side with the story. Tom.
Yes, Steve, where family members have come tonight to talk to investigators, where we're told investigators have also brought a person of interest, as you've said, believed to be a family member in the strangulation death of a much-loved teenaged girl.
Y'all know Desiree. You know what kind of person she was, right? You know she wouldn't want this. She liked the peace. Y'all be in peace, okay?
Murder victim Desiree Smith's adoptive mother imploring the youth of her South Side neighborhood to remember the 16-year-old and stay away from violence.
She liked art. She loved to dress. She loved church. She was a Christian. She knew God. That's why I know God got her soul.
Relatives say Desiree was murdered here in her living room yesterday, strangled on this couch. Family members allege an ongoing pattern of abuse by a relative and say they're eager to cooperate with police.
I'm just trying to be strong right now, but I think the funeral was going to really, but you know, I'm going to try to be strong because I got to be there for my grandma now, so, because that was her heart, so.
It's a sad thing that something like this will happen to somebody that just, you know, just wants to be a teenager, you know.
Desiree's mother, who adopted the teen when she was just an infant, finds it almost too sad for words. How are you feeling right now? How are you?
It's rough. It's hard. God, I can't do nothing. Just God got me right now. It's not me. I don't have the strength. But the man that I know got all power. That's who got me right now. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want.
And Jenny says she's hanging on to her faith right now, here right now at Area 2, talking to detectives who have a suspect in mind, but no charges as of yet. Desiree Smith, 16 years old, a freshman at Julian High School, now the 29th Chicago public school student to become a murder victim so far this school year. We're live at Area 2. Tom Negovin, WGN News.
Tom, thank you. A Northwest Indiana man is charged with the murder of a woman found buried in his backyard. Police say 21-year-old Louis Vela Jr. of Gary confessed that he killed 35-year-old Tracy Parham on March 11th. Officers report Vela said he got drunk and hit the woman with a clock while she was asleep. He allegedly told investigators that he later buried her body beneath a dog pen next to her garage. He turned himself into police on Tuesday. A murder suspect is being held on $6 million bail charged with killing an elderly man. Hector Mauricio of Aurora is accused of stabbing 83-year-old Roscoe Ebby to death after allegedly breaking into Ebby's Aurora home early today. Neighbor Leslie Fleming woke up and went across the street to Ebby's house, where he was able to grab the suspect and hold him until police arrived.
This person was in his car, and he went into the house. And when he saw me coming, he ran into the house and then he ran in front of me in a window, and then I was able to get him out and hold him until the police came there, until the sheriff's department came.
Fleming downplayed his actions, saying Ebby would have done the same thing for him. Ebby was a World War II veteran. He had lived in the same house for 55 years.
After dropping one count of money laundering today, federal prosecutors rested their case in the fraud trial of former Hollinger chairman Conrad Black. Black and 3 other men are accused of looting $60 million from Hollinger. They allegedly took money that should have gone to the company from non-compete agreements and sales of newspapers. The defense begins presenting its case tomorrow. Defense attorneys have told the judge their case may end by June 11th. Coming up next, powerful words for powerful sadness. What the family of a murdered bank teller told the Chatham neighborhood tonight.
And don't you wish you were a pussycat doll? These Chicago women certainly do what they went through trying to make the cut.
Back in the Weather Center, Tom Skilling's tracking a week's worth of storms heading straight for us. Hey, Tom.
You're watching WGN News at 9 with Allison Payne, Steve Sanders, Tom Skilling, and Dan Roan. This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
This is my case.
I didn't kill anybody.
Bang, bang, bang. You have the right to remain silent.
Stories come to life. Weekdays, Homicide, Life on the Streets at 11 a.m. and Da Vinci's Inquest at 12 p.m. Only on Superstation WGN.
Where does it hurt? New Aleve liquid gels can make it better.
My neck has been getting really painful.
With a sore back, it's hard to paddle.
My knee is where it hurts.
Now for the first time, liquid speed meets Aleve strength. In new Aleve liquid gels, all-day relief for painful joints, backs, and muscles.
My knee's nice and happy again. It's nice and loose.
I didn't even think about the pain.
I can focus on that rock.
Where does it hurt? Aleve can make it better liquid fast.
Irritating skin itch? Get the quick fix. Bug bite itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream helps stop skin irritations and itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch.
Introducing Kraft Natural Cheese Crumbles.
The Crumbelievable.
Intense nuggets of real Kraft cheese crumbled right off the block. Good. They're Crumbelievable.
I've learned to cover what I can and promise people they won't catch it. I got to the point I even learned how to cut my own hair.
Good to see you. Now you can learn about an underlying cause of plaque psoriasis and how newer treatments that work differently can help clear your skin. Talk to your doctor and visit learnpsoriasis.com.
I'd like to learn what it's like to like what I see in the mirror.
You're watching Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
A Chicago alderman's father is released on bond tonight after being charged in an alleged fake ID scheme. WGN's Juan Carlos Fanjul is here tonight with that story. Juan Carlos.
Steve, 22nd Ward Alderman Ricardo Munoz says he hasn't had a close relationship with his father for 17 years. But Dad's arrest and the possibility that he could face up to 5 years in prison if found guilty has the alderman really concerned about him. He's a small businessman and the father of a Chicago alderman, leaving federal court released on bond after facing a judge on some hefty charges. 62-year-old Elias Munoz is accused of conspiring to produce false identification documents out of his little village photo shop called Photo Munoz. It's in the same strip mall where the feds conducted a raid in late April, arresting nearly 24 men accused of selling bogus IDs from driver's licenses to social security cards. At the time, Alderman Ricardo Munoz told me the feds had questioned his father, but that he didn't believe he had anything to do with it. The 22nd Ward Alderman sat down with me today.
We're extremely concerned because of the charges, but more importantly with my dad's health.
He says he doesn't know if there's any truth to the charges developed after the April bust. But according to the criminal complaint, negotiations for fake documents took place inside Foto Munoz, and Elias Munoz allegedly knew and helped the fake ID peddlers. Among some of the items allegedly found inside the photo shop, hundreds of blank state and U.S. ID cards, some with realistic seals. Still, Alderman Munoz says fake ID peddlers were all over the strip mall until the raid.
I've always advised them whenever I talk to them during the holidays or when, the 1 or 2 times a year that I visit, to tell them, I said, look, you got to keep these guys out of here. You sell pictures.
This experience, he says, has brought him closer to his estranged father.
Because this is my dad. I mean, it's just... it's tough.
Elias Munoz will be staying with the alderman's sister, wearing an electronic monitor 24 hours a day until he goes back to court next Monday. Allison?
Carlos, thank you. A Southside church held a prayer vigil tonight, remembering the victims of a bank robbery that turned fatal.
He was a rare breed. And, I just can't stop crying. I just can't stop crying.
Verdon Gibson fights back tears as he speaks at a special prayer service honoring his son. Tremaine Gibson died last Tuesday, hours after 3 men robbed the Illinois Service Federal Savings and Loan in Chatham. The suspect shot 3 people. The 23-year-old bank teller and father of 2 was shot in the back.
I'm mad. I am mad that there are those of us who live in our communities and who walk among us, and they feel that they have the right to take whatever they want.
There is a genuine charm to the man, quality of soul and spirit that could speak to people of any age.
The FBI has announced a reward of up to $50,000 for anyone who has any information that will lead to an arrest in this case.
When students return to class next fall at St. Viator High School in Arlington Heights, they'll have more than English, math, and science on their schedules. The school is adopting mandatory drug testing. Every student will be tested during the first 6 weeks using a strand of hair. And about 20 students will be tested randomly each week for the rest of the school year. The president of St. Viator, Reverend Robert Egan, says there's not a drug problem at the school. He says they're taking a proactive approach.
A young alum of the University of Chicago is making a hefty donation to his alma mater, $100 million. That is the largest donation ever given to an Illinois university, but get this, the donor wishes to remain anonymous. The early 80s grad gave the gift to help secure more financial aid for undergraduate students.
He wanted to make sure that students from modest backgrounds could not only attend the university, but engage fully in the academic life of the university and not have to worry about loans.
And thanks to this donation, about 800 students every year will receive a full ride if their family income is less than $60,000. And whoever you are, what a wonderful gift. And
it certainly is.
What good you've done.
You know, when you're on a plane, you have to wonder who was last sitting in your chair, breathing on that window next to you or using that blanket.
It's more than a passing thought for government officials. It's become a life or death situation as they track down dozens of people who flew for hours with a very sick man. An update on his condition after the break.
Share an intimate moment with a doctor. Scrubs. They're overworked.
Dr. Reed? I'm not sucking my thumb.
Underappreciated. And socially inept.
Are you planning on making this worth my while?
But surprisingly good dancers. And on call 5 times a week. 5 times?
Oh, really?
Scrubs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Can an odor-free cream stand up to your back pain?
Benefits Aspercream.
Aspercream is clinically proven to knock out the pain with the maximum strength formula that's odor-free. Arthritis pain stopped?
Benefits Aspercream.
Ask your prescriber
subscriber about Ambien CR, then call or visit AmbienCR.com for a 7-day free trial offer. It's the only sleep aid with 2 layers of sleep relief. The first dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. Plus, unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your prescriber can consider along with lifestyle changes and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Somnambulism with amnesia for the event and rare cases of severe allergic reactions have been reported. If you experience these events, contact your prescriber immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
I tried to quit smoking 5 times. Take it from me, there are no magic bullets. Then I got Nicoderm CQ, and it worked.
Nicoderm CQ is the only clear patch with smart control, an extra layer that releases a steady stream of nicotine. Get serious. Get Nicoderm CQ.
WGN News is sponsored in part by True Value.
Got a lot of projects?
Yeah.
We've got what you need. Come on.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right. Start here.
You're watching Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
We're getting more information about Monday's helicopter crash in Iraq. U.S. military officials say the 2 soldiers inside and 6 others heading to the scene were killed by enemy fire. And another deadly helicopter crash to tell you about, this one today in Afghanistan. 5 American soldiers were killed after a NATO chopper was shot down. The Taliban is claiming responsibility.
A worldwide search is on for roughly 90 airline passengers and crew who were exposed to a Georgia man who has tuberculosis. Today, health officials laid out what they know about this man's case. WGN's Grant Rampey has that story from Washington.
Well, this is not just a story about a man with TB. It raises far broader questions. What if we were dealing with a different disease, something that might have touched off an epidemic? Also, why wasn't this guy tracked down or stopped sooner?
This investigation is just beginning.
Federal health officials say the man now in isolation at this Atlanta hospital has no visible symptoms, and the risk he may have infected someone else is low. Still, he was told.
Under no uncertain terms should he use commercial aircraft.
But he did anyway, flying with his soon-to-be wife to Europe for their wedding. Reportedly 32 years old, he was diagnosed in January. But it wasn't until he reached Rome that the Centers for Disease Control really knew what they were dealing with.
The consequences of spread of this germ are extremely high because of the extreme drug-resistant nature of this organism.
So what happens with untreated TB, you see progressive disease, destruction of the lung, and eventually death.
That's why investigators are so anxious to find the dozens of people who sat near this TB carrier as he made 2 transatlantic flights, first from Atlanta to Paris, then later from Prague to Montreal. That's where he rented a car and drove over the border back into the U.S. without ever being stopped. He's told an Atlanta newspaper reporter no one made it clear to him he shouldn't go ahead with his wedding travel plans. Once the CDC, in its words, begged him to stay put in Rome, he says he decided that the prospect of receiving treatment outside the U.S. might endanger him further. That's why he bolted.
Anyone who's sick should not be getting our aircraft. We heard this from Dr. Gerberding yesterday, and that's a basic principle for any contagious disease.
Tonight, we understand 2 separate investigations are underway at the Department of Homeland Security here in Washington. Officials want to know how this guy, 6 years after 9/11, was able to make it through a border checkpoint despite the fact that his name and passport had been flagged. Grant Rampey, WGN News.
Say he's the star power the Republican presidential race needs. Law and order actor and former Tennessee Senator Fred Thompson's launching a major fundraising drive, and he could be in the race by July. Some South Carolina lawmakers showed their support at a news conference. A CNN poll puts Thompson 3rd among GOP candidates, behind former Mayor Rudy Giuliani and former Governor Mitt Romney. Senator John McCain is also in the race.
Next, something really wild.
And really rare. Animal babies you've probably never seen before making their home in Chicago, at least for a little while.
And there's some not-so-distant rumbling outside. Tom Skilling forecasts a week of summer storms right after this break.
This is my case.
I didn't kill anybody. Bang, bang, bang.
You have the right to remain silent.
Storms come to life. Weekdays, Homicide, Life on the Streets at 11 a.m. and Da Vinci's Inquest at 12 p.m. Only on Superstation WGN.
Where does it hurt? New Elite liquid gels can make it better.
My neck has been getting really painful.
With a sore back, it's hard to paddle.
My knee is where it hurts.
Now for the first time, liquid speed meets Elite strength. In new Elite liquid gels, all-day relief for painful joints, backs, and muscles.
My knee's nice and happy again. It's nice and loose.
I didn't even think about the pain.
I can focus on that rock.
Where does it hurt? Elite can make it better liquid fast.
Irritating skin itch? Get the quick fix. Bug bite itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream helps stop skin irritations and itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch.
Introducing Kraft Natural Cheese Crumbles.
The Crumbelievable.
Intense nuggets of real Kraft cheese crumbled right off the block. Good. They're Crumbelievable.
I've learned to cover what I can and promise people they won't catch it. I got to the point, I even learned how to cut my own hair.
Now you can learn about an underlying cause of plaque psoriasis and how newer treatments that work differently can help clear your skin. Talk to your doctor and visit learnpsoriasis.com.
I'd like to learn what it's like to like what I see in the mirror.
Who's afraid of the little red wolf? Not these zookeepers who unveiled a new litter of red wolf pups today at Lincoln Park Zoo. Beautiful. They received their first vaccinations. Red wolves were declared extinct in the wild back in 1980, but they're being bred in captivity. And eventually, these 5 pups will be released into their natural habitat. Gorgeous, huh?
They really are.
How's our habitat
take one of those home, right, Allison, to the kitties?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it in about a year.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Hey, you know, we've been talking about how warm May has been, and we had another day of near 90-degree temperatures. But, you know, there's a raging and record-breaking heat wave in progress in Russia, of all places. Hottest temperatures over in Moscow in 128 years. They've established the hottest temperature ever in the month of May, and this apparently will be the first 5-day streak, May streak of 90-plus readings on record since way back in the late 1800s. So it kind of makes our warm weather seem mild by comparison. But these clouds did blow up into some thunderstorms, and while temperatures have backed off, as you can see on our weather bug readings tonight, into the 70s, it looks right now like we've got ourselves some warm weather coming the next couple of days. And like a couple of thunderstorms could be on the way after that. 86 was the high, actually 87 at O'Hare, but it hit 89 at Midway this afternoon. And you can see the haze that lingers in the area. It may thicken in spots to a little fog tonight. But what's interesting is as we widen our view and look at this cool pocket that's developing, there's warm air shooting over the top of it. That's bad news because these cool pockets associate with showers and thunderstorms and show up as an upper air low, a little buckle in the jet, the front edge of which keeps erupting thunderstorms. With the warm air shooting over the top of it, it's going to take days for this thing to clear the areas. So we run a day-to-day risk of some showers and thunderstorms coming in here. Meantime, down in Florida, where 17-month rain deficits are as high as 20 inches at West Palm Beach and 17 inches near Fort Lauderdale, big rains may be on the way. They're hoping so. Lake Okeechobee achieved a new record low tonight as rains pour down out in the plain states where they don't need them, where soils are saturated, and that may have an impact on summer temperatures. Because when soils get wet, the summer warmth comes in, puts moisture back in the air, and thunderstorms develop, and more storms like those shown right there on Doppler radar and cataloged right here on our list keep erupting and cooling things down. Kind of tempers the summer heat. Worthington, Minnesota's had 3.17 inches of rain. Aberdeen, South Dakota has picked up another 2.52 inches today. Huron, South Dakota, 1.90, and Des Moines, 1.51 inches. In a year that's being likened to 1993, which is when the Mississippi River flooded and the Missouri River went out of its banks out to the west of us. You can see where the severe thunderstorms were today, even a tornado up there in sections of North Dakota. But here is Europe, which is actually fairly cool, and the western edge of that heat wave that if we extended this map eastward would extend into Russia. There you can see the heat that has gripped that area. They're talking about 90-degree temperatures over a huge area, and that's one of the hottest May heat waves in a century over there. For us, this front will fight eastward, but because that upper low is so slow moving, it'll just keep the moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico and this front at bay, not coming through here and drying us out anytime soon. So we'll sit here in this moderately humid upper 50 and low 60-degree dew point air and get those little thunderstorms to rumble up like they did in DeKalb today, where they had a wind gust of 48 miles an hour at one point this afternoon and 0.2 of an inch of rain. Here's the area that the forecasters down in Florida are watching. What may come out of that may be one of these hybrid systems, the mix between a tropical and non-tropical system that would move northward. It would bring welcome rains to Florida, but might bear a name and produce gusty winds in the process too. So we'll keep our eyes on that in the days to come. It would be late this week and this coming weekend it would turn wet. You can see the RPM model showing more wetness out in the plain states as we have wet weather here, dry weather in the southeast and out to the west, and hopefully some relief on the way in the form of that cloud mass right there on our full disk satellite imagery. Well, here's our Chicago forecast. Partly cloudy, hazy, warm, and moderately humid tonight. There'll be some haze in the air. We had a shower on radar, but it's been fading out the last couple of hours. And low temperatures tonight drop down to about 69 degrees, a little cooler in some of the outlying areas. South winds at 5 to 16. Then over the next 7 days, fairly warm with an 83 tomorrow, an 86 on Friday, and an 83 on Saturday. Sunday won't be far from 80 either. But cooler weather will come in Monday and Tuesday, though we'll start warming back up again by Wednesday of next week. And there's a day-to-day chance of some scattered showers or thunderstorms. As much as 40 to 60% of the area could get in on some showers or thunderstorms tomorrow. Maybe 40% of the area, mainly afternoon and evening hours Friday. Perhaps up to 60% of the area at times on Saturday, and then Sunday, perhaps 30 or 40% of the area in on a shower and thunderstorm. So that's a lot of rain. It looks that way on the graphic, but the fact is it'll be kind of scattered, Steve and Allison.
Okay.
I guess we can get through that.
We can indeed, yes indeed. And one more day left in May, and then we go into meteorological summer the day after.
Have a little celebration in the newsroom.
We will indeed, and you guys are invited, so are our viewers.
That's tough. All right.
Okay, guys, see you later.
Well, Motorola is laying off more employees. The Schaumburg-based cell phone company said today that they will cut another 4,000 jobs. That's in addition to the 3,500 job cuts they announced back in January. In total, the company expects nearly $1 billion worth of savings by 2008. This spring, Motorola posted its first quarterly loss in nearly 3 years. On the south side, 50 new jobs are created. The celebration today at the opening of the new Nike factory store had politicians and executives rubbing elbows with residents of the Chatham neighborhood. The store is at 8501 South Cottage Grove. The giant sportswear maker is handing out $55,000 to various community organizations. It also adopted the Jane Neal Elementary School at 85th in Michigan.
The dairy industry is expecting something sharp, and it isn't cheddar cheese. Experts are predicting a sharp increase in prices, as much as 40 cents more for a gallon of milk and 60 cents for a pound of cheese. Industry analysts say it's thanks to higher costs for transporting the products to market and cows fighting with cars for corn. There's an increased demand for corn to produce ethanol instead of feed. Your Illinois lottery drawing is next, and after that, sports.
Well, the White Sox threw away a golden opportunity to avoid getting swept by the Twins.
Plus, the latest on the soap opera playing out in L.A. Does Kobe Bryant really want to leave the Lakers?
late nights on Superstation WGN.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains and TV has video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some tables.
Right.
Want to talk to someone who really knows hotels? Call the experts at Hotels.com. They've got the inside scoop on over 70,000 properties. They're available 24/7, and they'll always find you the best price guaranteed. Just log on or call 800-2HOTELS now. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
Live from WGN TV Chicago, the official drawing of the Illinois Lottery.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Linda Kohlmeyer with your winning lottery numbers for Wednesday, May 30th, 2007. I wish you the very best of luck. Let's go. The first game, pick 3. The first lucky number for tonight is 4. Second number is 0. And your third and final pick 3 is 4. That makes the winning pick 3 numbers for tonight 404. Time for the pick 4 game. I hope this spring finds you planting a garden of plants and flowers, perhaps outside, perhaps inside, but certainly seeds of love and kindness everywhere. Back to pick 4. First lucky number is 0. Second number for tonight, 5. Your third lucky number is 1, and the fourth and final pick 4 for tonight is 8. That makes the winning pick 4 numbers for tonight 0518. Okay, let's hope some luck comes your way on Little Lotto. The jackpot is $175,000. The first winning Little Lotto number for tonight is 1. The second, 32. Your third, 4, followed by the fourth, 2, and the fifth and final Little Lotto number, 14. That makes the winning Little Lotto numbers for tonight 1, 32, 4, 2, and 14. Okay, it's a lot of time of the jackpot. $2.25 million. Say it loud, say it proud, especially if it's coming your way. The first winning lotto number is 15. The second is 8. The third, 39, followed by the fourth, 38. The fifth, what is it? It's 47. And the sixth and final lotto number, 48. That makes the winning lotto numbers for tonight 15, 8, 39, 38, 47, and 48. And Mega Millions, $12 million. Get yourself a ticket and get somebody else one. I'm Linda Kohlmeyer. Good luck and good night.
Tonight's lottery drawing was brought to you by WGN TV and supervised by the accounting firm of Clifton Gunderson.
Need relief from constipation? Take Docalax and sleep on it. Docalax gives you gentle, effective relief overnight, while its comfort coating protects your stomach, so you feel like your natural self in the morning. Docalax, gentle, predictable relief.
Heartburn? Painful. Zantac. Okay. Zantac quickly relieves heartburn. Better? Completely. Zantac's fast. Heartburn? Yeah. Prescription. Slow. The leading prescription can take a day or more to fully work. Zantac. Better. Zantac's fast. For heartburn, Zantac's fast.
You ever think you might have worms? If your computer is slowing down or crashing or just acting weird.
E-acceleration with the full power of Stop Sign can make it like new again.
Stop Sign gives you virus protection second to none.
With a spam blocker and spyware remover.
Pop-up blocker.
And the Stop Sign firewall for all the protection you'll ever need.
Guaranteed.
You may be infected and not even know it. Go to StopSign.com for a free virus scan now.
When I'm riding, I can't let my allergy medicine put me in a fog. So I only ride Claritin Clear. Claritin works hard to relieve my worst allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. And it's proven to make me alert and focused, not drowsy. When I get allergy relief and stay razor sharp, I'm ahead from start to finish. Stay alert, stay focused, live Claritin Clear.
Now's your chance to win a perfectly clear day with a celebrity. Go to Claritin.com and enter the Claritin Perfectly Clear Day sweepstakes today.
I just want what's best for you and the baby. It's not a healthy relationship. Look at that thing. What a mess. You could do much better.
Drop your mop and get Swiffer Wet Jet. It's the cleaner spring cleaner. The dirt-dissolving antibacterial solution kills 99.9% of bacteria that your mop can spread around. When you're done, toss the pad away.
Thanks, Mom.
Swiffer gives spring cleaning a whole new meaning. Visit Swiffer.com for a $5 coupon.
Code green. I think I've lost him.
Hey, haven't I seen you before?
You sure have. Look out!
Whoa! My car! It's too late to report my claim now.
Don't you have Esurance?
I do.
At Esurance, you can report your claim 24/7, online or on the phone. Always fast and friendly. You'll be back on the road in no time. Duty calls. If you're on the go, you gotta have Esurance.
Save on 24/7 claim service at Esurance.com.
Irritating skin itch? Get the quick fix. Bug bite itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream helps stop skin irritations and itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch.
Funniest pets and people, Tuesday night on Superstation WGN.
Ugly situation out there at Wrigley Field tonight.
Yeah.
Not
You think?
pretty.
You think?
And we're worried about Lou Piniella.
Hey, you should be. You should be.
Well,
yeah. They're trying everything. I mean, they had a players-only meeting ahead of Game 3 against the Marlins tonight. Then Lou Piniella had one with the Cubs front office staff. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Out to the ballpark we go. Little tiny Alfonso Soriano is on scale with his power numbers so far, but Florida's got no problem swinging the bats. First inning, Dan Uggla with the wind blowing straight out to center. That's a home run, 1-0. 2 batters later, Miguel Cabrera, same spot. Ted Lilly got a couple of fastballs up and paid the price, 2-0 after 1. And the Cubs never could get one up into that win. Soriano in the 5th against reliever Randy Messenger. The Marlins win 9-0. They sweep the Cubs at Wrigley for the first time ever. And poor Lou, what can you say after a disaster like that?
The lineup, I don't know. Maybe we'll draw the damn thing out of a hat. See how that works. And we'll have the catcher leading off. I don't know. We just got to keep playing and keep getting ourselves. I mean, we got to fight ourselves out of this. That's all we can do. There's nothing else you can do. Absolutely nothing else. I mean, I wish I had a magic formula, and I really do. Because I feel for these guys. I mean, it's no fun getting your ass beat like this. I can tell you that.
No, it's not. And what about the White Sox up in Minnesota? Slapped around for 2 days up there. Out to a nice lead this afternoon. Rob Makoviak adding to a 4-1 lead. That's a 6-1 edge for John Garland there. And that lead was gone by the 6th inning. Chris Heinz, base hit to left. Torrey Hunter comes around, and the game is tied at 6. Where it stood in the 9th with the bases loaded and 2 outs. David Aardsma threw 4 pitches to Hunter, and the game was over. The Sox get swept in the Dome. They give up 26 runs in 3 defeats, and they walked 8 hitters today, including the game loser there in the 9th inning. In one of the great crossover moves we've seen in a while, Kobe Bryant now wants to stay with the Lakers. This morning, he told anybody who'd listen he'd never play there again. But after a late afternoon conversation with Dr. Phil Jackson, he says he's going to stay. NBA Western Conference Finals, and I do mean finals. The Spurs running wild over the Jazz in Game 5. Deron Williams not at 100% for Utah. Tony Parker and Tim Duncan making the Jazz pay. They've led by as many as 27. A couple of minutes to go until San Antonio punches a ticket to the NBA Finals. All the hockey fans turn out for the Stanley Cup Finals. Snoop and company in Anaheim, watching the Ducks take a 2-game lead over Ottawa. Scoreless in the 3rd, Sammy Paulson wins the game for Anaheim. The Ducks head to Ottawa for Game 3 with a 2-0 series lead. Serena Williams shocked the world down in Australia. Now Venus Williams is turning a few heads. 2nd round match in the French against Ashley Harkleroad. 128 miles an hour on that serve. The fastest serve ever recorded by a woman. You hit an ace or even a service winner on clay, you've got it cranked up, and she did today. Finally, the Sun-Times says Tank Johnson spent almost $700 on junk food during his 60-day stay in the Cook County Jail. Tops on the menu, 162 beef sticks, 40 honey buns, 35 summer sausage blocks, and 35 bags of barbecue chips. As we all know, you can't have a summer sausage block without a bag of barbecue chips to go along with it.
Training food.
He's going to pay for that when the sun comes up in August, I'll tell you that.
Block? I don't want to.
I don't know.
Never mind.
You don't want to know.
You can't get them in January. All right. Listen, I know you're a fan of this girl group calling all wannabe pussycat dolls. Last season's CW show's search for the next pussycat doll will have an expanded concept the next time around. And take a look. These ladies want to get in on it. Producers plan to build an entire group inspired by the Pussycat Dolls, and today they held an open casting call right here in the Windy City. Hopefully that means we'll have a local favorite to cheer on in season 2. Don't you wish your girlfriend... they did that song? Don't you wish your...
I guess so, yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. I don't know how the lyrics go. I just heard it. That's the news for this Wednesday night. I'm Steve Sims.
And I'm Allison Payne for Dan Rowan, Tom Skilling, and all of us. Have a great night. That was pretty good.
Well, I'm trying to remember how it goes. I just heard it once. And.
Dodgers are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs starts right now on Superstation WGN.